No, it's not.
What's up, D&D's nutters? We're doing an interesting topic today.
No, it
We are doing a timeline video. On the, for, no, we're not actually. I decided
that
no,
what
we're
we're
not
doing?
recording anything.
I thought we were here for ice cream. Huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was promised ice cream.
Well, okay, then let me just go and get some. You can see all our funny faces and our funny actions as we talk
Yeah.
about our funny moments with our original characters on the run up till death do us part. Our
I
little
really
mini
should have
campaign.
cleaned up my face before I agreed to record like this, but whatever.
The
I didn't
mini
really know I was
campaign.
going to do it either, but there you go.
Yeah, the mini campaign that may or may not happen sometime soon.
Maybe.
Maybe, who knows?
It's like my
Yeah.
campaign, you know, it'll
Yeah.
happen.
It does indeed exist
Ooh.
on paper.
Yeah,
It's
on
not
paper.
physically.
No, it's not on paper. It's on Word document, mate. Get
So
it.
stop being
Yeah,
fucking
so
pedantic. No,
true,
nobody
so
asked for you to
true.
be pedantic, Paul.
Guys, when I
I am
say this is a real Josh W goes through the window moment, you're gonna get this by the end of the video.
We'll get there when we
I
get
have
there.
a good, I have a good image you can show when I talk about that. It's in the character drawings. You can
Yes,
always
it
go
is.
find it.
Yeah. So, so we did 3 campaigns with our original characters. There were a lot of people in the first campaign. So I'm gonna
Oh,
go.
about the fourth one.
Was it a campaign prologue?
It was
Prologue.
more like it was more like a mini campaign that failed.
Mini prologue / mini prologue.
No,
The shit that won't be included in the animated
Animated
series when it gets made.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So I guess we'll go through characters first in terms of who we played as.
Okay. Oh, we're going from just the Barrenwood group then.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Okay,
a
right, I
long
wasn't
time
told
ago, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there was a village called Barrenwood. It was very small. It was a fishing village, and it's where in the Chunky Turkey Inn. How many adventurers were it? A group of
that was like
adventurers.
8 of us,
There
wasn't
was
there?
a
There was-
lot of us.
At the
So
start, yeah.
roll call time. It's time to introduce the characters. Of which there was like 8 at this point, but not all of them that in the Chunky Turkey, so I don't know why I'm doing it now. So,
yeah.
We
get
have
introduced to
Joshua, the Wyatt the 10th.
Who's over there on my
that's me.
screen.
Oh, he's over. I don't know.
I'm here.
Jeff-
Yeah, I did. So we should
He's
also.
right there.
Yeah, I am right here. We should preface this like this was our very first D&D experience, at least for me.
Josh
so I
Wyatt
didn't.
created
didn't-
Josh Wyatt.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
know
Josh
what
made
to
Josh.
do, so I made my own myself in the D&D world, not realizing that at the time it was the shittest idea known to man. So
It's only because you weren't really willing to let yourself do anything that
Yeah.
Josh real life wouldn't do.
yeah, well,
And on
there's that,
top of
but I also
being
wasn't
basic-
sure how long I would go.
Oh, yeah.
And when I realized
should
I
have
wanted to
killed
keep
him.
going,
Killed him.
yeah, I probably should have. But then I dug myself into a rabbit hole, and now we're
Yeah.
here, and I'm playing as him again, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. On top of him being basic as a character, he was also basic as a.
At this
basically
point in time, yeah.
character. He was a human fighter. How
Oh.
original!
No,
Moving
originally he was going to be a human wizard, but this dickhead decided that he didn't want to deal with magic.
No, I didn't want
Except-
you guys dealing with magic.
Except for when you let Aggie
Aggie
be a
do it.
bard.
That's because Aggie said she had experience.
Don't care.
And you guys knew.
She doesn't even know what magic slots were.
Okay, we'll get
Yeah,
to we'll get there when we get there.
This is why
Okay,
I
we'll
dropped
get
Aggie. Aggie was a pain. I didn't like her.
Jesus.
If you watch this, Aggie, I do like you. I just say, please don't kill me. Your character was psychopathic, and I think you were too. Moving on.
Moving on.
To be fair, we don't like pools, so
Yeah, that's true. We hate him.
No one
especially not
dispute that.
Josh.
I don't like him either.
Yeah.
Also, moving on. Then there was Ellie's character, Delilah Davenport.
Yeah, there was, and she was a.
Oh no, that works. I could do that.
She's
Stop
up here in my
pointing
screen.
Yeah.
You're just pointing towards the void. Yeah. So Delilah was essentially, you know what a gentleman thief is, right? Robin Hood, take from the rich, give to the poor. She's part of one of those groups, and she just so happened, due to backstory stuff, which I don't know if we'll ever go into, but backstory stuff. She happened to land near Berrenwood, and now she's here. Tee hee ha hoo hoo.
Yeah,
Now-
probably.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, just to keep going with the character Roku, just in case you thought one red human fighter wasn't enough, we also had Nari Young, who was very much based off of. He was a bit based off of the Nathan that we know, wasn't he?
I
yeah,
think Nathan
that's
and
when
me-
I made my decision to be me.
Yeah, like why did we have two red human fighters who were based off of their players? Who let that one slip, Paul?
I didn't make your characters.
You approved them.
In my
but no,
case, you made it worse.
I must admit, his character was great. It was a bit
It
of a
was a
slow
good
burn to get his story out, but once it did, it slapped. It was
Oh
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. He went from Cloud Strife to
Yeah.
you know.
A human suffering with minor case of PTSD after watching his childhood house burn down, being kidnapped by thieves, and then, well, let's just say, being recruited into a mercenary group from a young age, and he was kind of messed up in the head.
For
But
a
they were good
while,
For a long
They were
time.
good mercenary groups, so he was more or less okay.
he was fucked up, against the bad guys. So
Yeah.
I know
it was
someone like that in our
murder.
current campaign. Ha ha ha.
Oh, we don't talk about him. Okay.
Yeah.
Up
Yes.
next, who do we go for? Let's mention Brakosh. Let's get him out of the way.
So yeah, Brakosh, the elven rogue.
Yeah.
If you want a visual on this dude, he looks like Legolas. Anyway, so yeah,
Legolas in black. That was basically.
Legolas in black, and he he wants gold. He's a rogue. He's a bit of a dickhead, and
A bit.
he gets worse as he goes on. So it's weird. The story goes like dickhead. Oh, he's all right actually.
Yes. He was very much a loose cannon of a character. Which. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have. I'm just trying to think who was there initially. Was
Vicky
Elias there?
Vicky was originally there as well, but I
Yeah.
do not remember what character's name was.
Elias.
Was it Elias?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was Isaac. No, Elias. Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
Isaac is a.
Isaac has gone through
you're
fine.
timelines.
Yeah.
No offense to Vicky, but she makes so many characters that are just the same. Nah.
Paul,
Also-
this is supposed to be a timeline video, not a
video.
Yeah,
shit
anyway,
walking
we're just
video.
giving a basic character, but Elias.
If it's
doesn't
going to
matter.
be that,
He
then
went off and doing another thing.
go.
He went off and did his own thing, as
Yeah.
well as Flimbo and
Plaustra.
Plaustra, who weren't there yet.
Yet. And neither
Who weren't
was
there yet.
neither was Flimbo initially either.
No,
And,
Flimbo wasn't there either.
But
uh,
even then, those two characters
and
were
then-
completely inconsequential.
And then possibly the most important character, Hyam Lord.
Lord.
Hey,
Yes.
the barbarian Goliath who
with
he's,
a mysterious backstory.
with a mysterious past.
Who
which-
also loved cooking.
He
He
loved
loved
cooking.
He
He
loved
very
cooking.
much loved cooking.
Yeah,
And had an obsession with bears.
yeah,
That too, yes.
All right.
yeah.
So getting into the story,
Yes.
because we wasted so many time on the characters.
Don't look up his name. Don't look up the word bear in Swedish. It's a spoiler. Carry on.
Okay. So they start off in a place called the Chunky Turkey. They meet a drunk Terrence, and things happen.
Terrence, the unofficial party member.
Yeah. The barkeeper then basically recruits the group to go look for their supplies that should have arrived earlier that day. So they will go across the field towards a farm where the supplies were supposed to be, find that the places had been ransacked, the places, or the people who owned the place were dead,
Yeah.
and they found a kid in a house that was completely traumatized
So I say,
by
me,
Heimdall.
Delilah, and Heimdall traumatized the living hell out of that kid.
No, I helped that kid in the end.
Oh
That's how
yeah,
that
yeah.
Just.
He took him back to his aunt. Took him back to his aunt. That much I remember.
Yeah, it's only
Um,
because like I worked in Bonewood for a bit, but like, yeah, no, we got to mention the most important parts of this entire scenario. Brakosh decided to try and sneak up through the one-story place,
Yeah.
and Heimdall ran straight through an open door, taking one damage in the
Damn.
process.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he charged through an open, like a closed but unlocked door.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was going great.
Yeah,
Everything was
we're
going
very good at what we do.
perfectly
hmm
Um, so yeah, they find that in a bar nearby there was a guy that was in there. He runs out on a horse, and they follow him.
Brakosh
Yeah, they
hits him with
shoot
a
him.
fucking arrow.
They shoot him. They hit him. They hurt him. They follow him some more, and then go back into the field where they find a hole in the ground. Deep down, deep down, there was a pit with loads of dead bodies, including the horse and that guy, um, who had somehow crawled off from the looks of the blood stains on the ground. And going into this cave, they find there's a door, and go in, and there's a whole crypt where
Of
they
the
find
necromancer.
they find a bunch of necromancers in there, and they do normal crypt dungeony things and kill everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wherein they find a one single zombie, and that was tied up that these guys were all the necromancers were experimenting on, and they wipe them all out. Find a locked door that they couldn't open for some reason because it was magic.
Me and Ellie
you,
are
you've
gonna.
glossed over a character moment there,
It,
where we learned how to play D&D. So, right, you've glossed over a few things. We ran in, and there were prisoners, probably to be turned into zombies next. Among the prisoners, Flimbo, who is a blue human, which, for lore reasons that just haven't been revealed and probably never will be, is blue. Or was he a half elf? He was a half elf. He was a ranger. Plaustra, the quirky bard, and yeah, the tiefling quirky bard, and that was it, right? I'm not missing anyone, am I?
No.
Flimbo and Plaustra and Elias, they went off, did their own adventure afterwards with a different DM.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean that's not happened yet,
But,
so they are just side characters.
They
they're
are
side
side
characters,
characters
essentially.
in this
Yeah,
scenario.
and
I completely forgot about that.
there was a part because like at this point Brakosh had been showing off his douchebaggedness, and it was getting on Delilah's nerves because despite being a monk, she never finished the training. She's quite quick to anger. So there was a point where we were trying to kill this one guy, and they were tripping over each other trying to get to him first. We burst through the door, go over. We trip over each other, wake the guard up, kill him, still arguing. And the whole thing of Nari and Heimdall becoming quick friends. They tumbled down the stairs to where this zombie thing that Paul mentioned was being, held. In the first great moment of the whole thing, tumble down the stairs and look at each other. It's like, I knew we should have taken a right. Where have you got us lost? They pull out like a map or something or a piece of paper. It's like, we should have gone here. And the warlocks are just looking at them. Yeah. And Paul let them attack 3 of the things at the same time, but it was a big slash. It started a good fight. And yeah, where you were. Carry on.
Yeah. They find in the thing there's this mage. We messed up because we didn't know the rules properly at the time, and Harvey dealt way too much damage through him in one go.
18 damage with a regular bow, wasn't it?
Yes, because he thought rolling a d20 was damage at the
Yeah,
time.
to be fair, I did as well. I was very lucky that I rolled a very low number.
Oh, sign of things to come,
Sign of things
Josh.
to come, yes.
So yes, that was all interesting, and yeah, we had a bit of a fun. You guys managed to kill the mage. You find out there's this huge plot of some kind, a grand master of sorts,
And
and
there was a piece of parchment that we couldn't read,
and the piece of parchment that you couldn't read.
which led
So
to Brakosh's best character moment at the end of the day. But you know,
yeah, he didn't have many of those.
no, he had a few, and I will be mentioning them because I know we had to leave back to see the mayor, the racist mayor who would only talk to elves, Brakosh. To speak like it was celestial or abyssal, wasn't it?
Abyssal, I
Abyssal.
believe.
Fucking hell. How do I remember this? So
This was
yeah,
2 years ago.
This was 2 years ago.
it's a lot to me. You know, he walks in, it's like, oh, I won't speak to anyone but a true-blooded elf. So Brakosh, oh, I'm suave, goes up and flirts with her a bit. Well, she flirts with him. He doesn't really reciprocate the feelings, but we've got an objective, and Brakosh doesn't really back down from those, really. If there's any credit to give to him, at least at this stage of the story. And he manages, oh, we'll see if we can get it translated. You guys need to come back tomorrow. So Delilah's quite frustrated. I rolled my first natural 20 and screamed so loud it popped like a guard's ear or something, I think.
I remember that, yeah.
I'd like to say that I only ever critted once with Delilah, despite the nat 20s I've rolled. Yeah, so then we had to go back to the Chunky Turkey and drink, because, oh hey, mission success.
Yes.
Okay, I'm remembering it all right.
The guys were all offered some mysterious drinks, some shots by the bartender. I never actually fully elaborated what they were, but they were actually teleportation drinks.
Right, yeah, no, that's
Yes.
what I believed they were, yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone just assumed they were normal, like, knockout sleeping potions.
There was for a bit, but
I
you said,
thought-
oh, yeah, no, because I said, oh, the elves are immune to sleep. But then you said, oh, who said they were knockout potions? And we all sort of assumed, teleportation.
Yeah.
Which was an awful startle when we woke up in the morning.
Yeah, so what
Yeah, I
happened
can't
was
remember who
those who drank it and those who didn't found they woke up in two different places. The ones who did woke up in a cave locked in a cell, with similar necromancers walking about.
Cringe.
And then they found that the people who didn't drink it were still in the Chunky Turkey, and the place was being rummaged by said necromancers trying to find them.
Do you mind if I cut in just for a second?
Yes.
The people who didn't drink the drinks, Delilah, Flimbo, and Elias.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was only those three. And there was a point where you were DMing for the people in the cave because you split the group, because we used to do that. There's two rooms. Flimbo! While we're waiting for you, by the way, Flimbo explains his entire backstory to Delilah. Just the whole thing. So Delilah now knows Flimbo's history as we go down, and yes, we find the people trying to rummage through the kitchen and stuff.
Yeah.
We got. I think Delilah got a first like proper kill. She bashed someone in the head. They fucking
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember that. The other guys managed to find a way to escape from their cell. What was it? The
Brakosh managed to
pick the lock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brakosh picked the lock, and they started fighting, didn't they?
Yeah, they managed to find the way out. They got to an elevator, and the elevator, as they were getting to the top, started to malfunction. And
you skipped over a bunch there.
I was about to say.
Yeah, it's fine.
You can go back onto it, but Heimdall had a really good character moment where he basically threw everyone up to the top and then just jumped the rest of the way, wasn't it?
No, what happened was we all managed to get to the top. Right, what happened, just really quickly to catch everyone up. They were doing that. Delilah, Elias, and Flimbo. Elias said some of the most horrific, graphic shit to one of these guys. So much so that he pissed his pants, Pissy Pants, the good old NPC.
I hadn't forgot. I was going to get to that.
Oh, okay. I'll do it quickly then, because this is where the points of the story converge. He leads us to the cave where everyone is. We lock him in a chest after some fighting, and we sneak around. There's the elevator. There's one of the higher tier warlocks on the top of it. Delilah
That's
fucking
what I was
kicks
gonna-
him off
yeah.
the top of the elevator and fucking splats him on the floor.
That's what I was
That
gonna
was
say.
it. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we helped get the elevator up because there's only so much weight you could put on it. So everyone else has gotten to the top, and then Heimdall got on, and then it started malfunctioning. It snapped. He rolled a nat 20, essentially fucking clung to the wall or something like that. We all thought he'd fell, but he managed to grab onto the fucking stalagmites or whatever on the ceiling.
Oh yeah, because he jumped super high.
Yeah, the big nat 20 moment. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that was great. Carrying on. I guess we'll probably cut it a little quick because it's taking a while. Don't want to be here all night on just the one bit that's supposed to be the shortest.
No, it's all good.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We can summarize a lot of what happens in the next bit for some
Yeah.
reason.
So they go through the cave, get some more, kill some more necromancers, find a couple of zombies on the loose as well. And then they kill another mage, get his key, and unlock a big door.
My
Oh, it's a
favorite.
big fucking door.
Yeah, I know how much Ellie likes big doors.
You're gonna hear a lot of big doors in my campaign, man. You aren't ready.
Oh, that's good. Then that's good. I like big doors too.
We're
Yeah,
getting
in there they
pretty-
find a bunch more zombies, and they hear in the darkness, like too far away from where they could see, was a humongous roar. Walking through, they find a giant flesh golem. What's that supposed to be, Ellie?
It looks better my way. It's supposed to be an Among Us character. Never mind. You
I
said
don't know.
humongous, and I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh,
so-
humongous. Oh, okay. I just had to ask.
I was
Anyway,
say, I think we're both like, what?
Among Us-ish? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
distracting, Ellie. You're distracting.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. During this fight, people started getting hurt because this thing was a bit too strong. So Heimdall released his homebrewed, mostly because we didn't know the rules at the time, his version of Rage, because he's a barbarian.
I think it's called Blind Rage, we named it.
Blood
Yeah.
Rage.
Blood rage.
Blood Rage, sure.
So he introduces Blood Rage. Now this Rage works differently, where he does a bunch more stuff. Does I think it was double damage, all that stuff, and the thing is, he attacks people randomly to like the closest person to him. So, and it takes a while for him to turn down. So he turns into the Incredible Hulk, and they kill the guy, and he starts attacking the rest of the group. The group go rushing through the for the door, and they basically try and bar the door to try and stop Heimdall from getting to them. Once they hear him calm down, they go. They realize they can leave. They go find Pissy Pants dead in the chest because he suffocated, and the day was good.
I'd like to
The man
clarify
that-
that I got very much clobbered by Heimdall.
Yeah, you
that was
did.
the main guy who got absolutely mangled. Again, a sign of things to come.
This was just a little bit of foreshadowing that took like a year and a half in the making,
Yeah.
and I'm one of my proudest moments. I like foreshadowing.
You ruined me.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, Ellie. We'll get to that.
We'll get to it.
Along the thing, they also find a magic key that was shimmering a similar energy to the door they found in the previous dungeon. So they're like, "Oh yeah, well, that makes sense. Let's bring it over there."
Was it
They
green?
do. I can't remember. It was probably just rainbow because it was gay.
Fair enough.
Gotta love
I
those
remember
gay keys.
I remember the mayor meeting us at the front of the cave to tell us something.
Yes.
She
something
translated the note, and
Yeah, she
that's why we
translated-
went back.
That was it. Yeah, translated note saying something about an attack on the city or attack on the village, and you guys. She asked you guys to look into it, figure it out, and stop anything from happening.
Begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly. She started flirting with Brakosh some more, and the day went on. The guys managed to open this, go back into the previous dungeon, open the door, and they followed
Was
this.
it a big door?
Oh, it was a average
Oh.
door, not quite small, not quite big. They walked through it. They walked down a corridor, and they found this huge room with this even bigger door with the history of like this god of sun and the god of light and the god of darkness, if I remember correctly. It was like a bunch of symbols.
I'm only gonna say I don't remember that because there were zombies.
Oh yes,
Everywhere.
they also that wasn't just happening yet. They find the Grand Master, name
Yeah.
trademark.
Yeah, Grandmaster Killian Blackburn, who we only ever called the
The
Grandmaster.
Grandmaster, who
I
also turned
mentioned the
out to be the
Grandmaster once.
bartender.
Oh yes, he did, and
I forgot about that. Oh no, I forgot about that.
So yeah, he showed up in like at this balcony type thing, looking into the room. Uh, he said the words "you don't understand," and then just walked away, pulled a lever, and the door opened, revealing 500 undead zombies. The gang had no other option but to run like fuck out of another exit, and they did.
Can I make a minor interjection?
Yes.
The whole "you don't understand" bit was originally to do with the barn fire, because when we got out, the barn started going on fire, but we managed to tame those horses. But you kept it going, and there was also a little prank that we were playing because some players were late that day or they were in the other room.
Oh
There was
yeah.
a prank that we were playing that
comes
Hiram
later.
thought. No, did it? Did it?
It comes in the Battle of Bearingwood.
No.
Because we
There
split
was
it into
something
two.
else. No,
Me,
no, it's
Kalila,
something else.
Heimdall, and
This is
Nari.
people.
No, this isn't the 1 HP thing. This
Oh.
was the Heimdall is attacking us all and he's betrayed us
Right.
joke.
Oh yeah.
Joke.
That joke made me laugh more than you guys realized. Spoilers. So for the people watching, we are going to have problems remembering this. This is 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not. I remember everything. Just ask me, baby.
Apart from the bartender being the Grandmaster, apparently.
Yeah, except for that.
Yeah. So the guys made it to City of Baron, the village walls of Baronwood. It was it'd been fortified while they were looking out for the mysterious army, and some of them went onto the walls firing cannons and that bows and arrows, and the other group were on the ground with some the ground team.
Yeah.
And
Ground force.
long story short, the fight took 2 hours. I might have had too many zombies in it.
There were hundreds of them.
There were hundreds.
There were hundreds of them.
When we killed one, we killed a group of them.
Oh yes,
That was when it
I
was
will
set,
get
set up. Yeah.
This is where the joke was that like Heimdall was dead and there was nothing that the healers on the fire in the bows could do.
Yeah. But what ended up happening was Heimdall activated his rage, got in the middle of a horde, ended up getting attacked multiple times in a single turn, leaving himself on 1 HP, walking
they beat
away.
him out of his rage.
He got beat out of his rage so he could walk away and heal up.
I believe that happened because we didn't know rage cut damage in half.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, we did. That
we?
was his damage cut in half. He got attacked that much. I just don't.
Fair enough.
No,
fair enough. I won't argue with it. Yeah, fair enough.
God, could you imagine if it wasn't?
Long story short, 2 hours, or was it 2.5 hours of combat?
Yeah,
and
Me and Nathan were watching Lupin the Third.
It was very loopy.
Lupin.
Yeah, it was fun though, I guess. Interesting watching people die. And Yeah, don't worry about it. So combat over. Mayor thanks the city. Thanks these guys for saving the
Thanks,
city.
thanks everybody who didn't take part in this battle.
Thank you. Thank you for saving the city, all of you city people. Anyway, the guys saved the city and decided to split up. Um, the group that went off with a different DM was myself as a player, as Vexneric. Haha.
Comes up.
If you've watched Dead Oasis,
Yeah, ain't that
Dead
crazy?
Oasis.
If you caught up to
Might
date with Dead
recognise that.
Oasis.
that's when
Uh,
we first heard of Vexneric. So
yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Why I
uh,
was so fucking
Flimbo.
concerned.
Oh yeah, Flimbo. Went on along as well, and we also found out his name was James Flynn, but no one ever called him that.
No,
James Flimbo
yeah, no,
Flynn.
everyone called him Flimbo. It
Yeah.
was Delilah who initially called him Flimbo.
Yeah, and it just stuck.
Yeah.
And then Elias as well, and Elias and Plaustra as well.
We forgot to mention that Flimbo couldn't speak.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Flimbo was mute the entire time, which was great for roleplay.
Yeah, exactly.
Harvey regrets it so much. I mean, until he just did start talking because he realized this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But we didn't hear that.
Yeah.
You guys didn't hear that. I heard it. It was weird. Anyway,
I know there was a mini like session where we had a split, but like I couldn't attend for whatever reason, which whatever.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, that was the end of the campaign, basically. Then
That was the end of the first.
the group that contains what was it? Delilah, Heimdall, Nari, Josh, and Brakosh. So
The main characters.
Yeah.
main
The
gang.
main characters.
They all went off and
Yeah, Josh.
they met a trader called Lucian, named after the antagonist from Fable 2.
Named after Overwatch Lucio.
No, I like Fable. I like referencing
enough.
it. Anyway, so they get a invitation to the town of Blan, or the city of Blan, I should say, to attend one of the meals and fine dining, trade discussions. Yeah, boring. Oh, I'm forgetting something, am I?
No. Something's coming up soon, and I really want to mention
Oh.
it. Like,
Really?
going, I fell asleep on the session that we arrived.
Yes, you did, yeah. You
I
weren't
talked to
here.
Paul earlier in the day. I said to him just as I was leaving for the bus, like, "Oh yeah, I'll be on later." I then go and take a nap for 4 hours.
And
Oops.
then woke up at the end of the actual session.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I remember that. Delilah was just there.
Yeah.
Nothing happened, but it was just she was there.
Heimdall and apparently Brakosh fought, and Brakosh got the win because they didn't
Yes,
use
he
any
did.
weapons.
Yes, he did. I
But
can't.
first to one hit because he
Um,
like
3 hits. The first of 3
Wow.
hits.
Yeah.
Oh.
Along the way to the town, they bumped into a goblin cave. If anyone remembers that.
all too well.
Yes.
Yes.
Not much can be said about that, except they got some good weapons. Nari found a really fancy-looking sword, and it turned out to be the sword of his dead mother. But we'll get to that later.
You could have waited until later to reveal that. Not too much happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm forgetting.
So, Brakosh, I think Garrick had seen some sort of movie where like the guy like rips some guy's dick off or something. He wanted to do it in D&D to this goblin. It turns out the goblin was a wolf,
Oh, I
and he
forgot about that. No.
We don't
No.
need to mention that. That was terrible.
Yep, and
Well,
Paul
he-
just let it happen.
Woof.
Tyler slapped her for like slapped Brakosh for like 8 damage.
I'd
I'd kill him for all the damage.
I don't know.
Try.
Derek was showing some suspicious behaviour
So
in
see-
this and his
Sus
own.
behaviour. This is
There's also something that will get left out if it ever gets animated. So yeah,
Yeah, for the love of God.
I was hoping to just gloss over that bit.
I completely forgot. About it.
Unfortunately, I'm a stickler for accuracy.
Yes, yes.
There's
So-
a lot of characters we met as well at this point. So there was
We
William,
also-
Wyatt.
Not yet.
Not
we-
yet.
not yet. Not
Oh,
yet.
After that, we're at the Goblin Cave. I skipped
yeah.
forward a bit on accident.
So after the Goblin Cave, they arrive in Balan. They get themselves fancy
that
dress.
Goblin
They go,
Cave,
yeah, they go to a fighters guild, which just so happens to be the fighters guild that Josh's character is from. Oh, and with that,
Okay.
Ew.
with that,
Me.
they met Josh's mentor.
So Wallace.
So Wallace.
That was my creation. That it was my best friend's name, so I thought it was only
No,
fair.
Sir Gromit before you ask.
I'm only saying I'm only saying it now because some of the names that come up later really clash.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: most people related to Josh's backstory have the name beginning with W.
W.
A lot of W's in that family.
Yeah.
It was Walter William
Walter
Wallace.
William Wallace, and that was it.
Yeah.
What
Three
Josh?
yeah,
cats. Well, Charles.
What's Josh's brother's name?
William.
William.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, it's just
Yeah.
he appears for so little time.
To be fair, I didn't make all of his names. Blame. Oh, he's over there for Alien, or you got. I don't know.
These,
Up
if you
here in this case. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. They meet the thing. They start training. They get fighting. They get some clothes. They go into the palace. They meet William. They meet Tilla. Tilla
Princess
being the
Philandra, yes.
Princess Talandra, who everyone just calls Tilla because
Tilla.
it's easier.
Yeah.
Also a
Quaint.
character from a good book series I like. She became she's just like normal princess, of course. Nothing particular about that.
No, there's no big lore thing behind that at all that
No,
never gets
no.
discussed.
Oh,
And then William is her bodyguard and also has magic powers.
Oh,
Uh,
unlike Josh. Oi.
Gosh, such a dumb, non-magical person. Anyway, they go into the dinner, into the castles to have a nice meal. They talk. They bump into a guy called Hodark, who just so happens to be our friend Jax's character.
oh
His
yes!
name-
I
forgot
forgot
his
about
name
Jax's
until now.
character.
Thank you for remembering Hodark for me.
Who
Yeah.
just so happened to only be there for 2 sessions.
One.
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 No, it was 2.
When was it? One
It was the
playable appearance, one non-playable appearance.
Yeah.
No. He was there for 2 sessions because he was there on that session and the session after where you guys have got.
Oh yeah, he wanted us to play the day after. Yeah, I remember that now.
You do.
No, he wasn't there for the escape because he just drifted away in
Yeah,
the river.
he was there for like the session that
We'll
you
talk
weren't
about
there,
it when
and
we
then
get there.
yeah,
Oh, wait,
he
no,
was
yeah,
there
yeah,
the session
yeah.
before, and then the session after that.
Anyway,
Because he was
yeah.
an NPC. But yeah,
Well,
go
I
on.
didn't
You
know how the
weren't
video
there.
comes through.
Whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, after the food goes on, they meet the Balan family, who are like these crazy strict people. They they explore the castle ground. They go into a library. They go into this tower, and for those 2 people in the tower, which was Hodark. Actually, no, it was 3. It was
It was
Hodark.
three, yeah. Tiller and Heimlord?
No, I'm saying
Lord.
Hodark, Heimdall, and Nari. I think it
Nari
was.
and Tiller. Obviously, Tiller was
Well,
on there
yeah,
as
Tiller,
well.
but Tiller's not playable characters. NPC.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but
for those people, they find out
awesome
Tiller
character.
has magic powers too.
That's crazy.
Which is a bit
mostly
weird.
just like the base non-violent powers.
Telekinesis.
Yeah, telekinesis being the most powerful. So she managed to work this magical elevator going up to the top of the tower, and they find this room that's been experimented on. That's got like this guy, this dead skeleton, with a suspicious symbol, that's like a cog. They find some bombs that look like normal orbs. One of them drops them, blows up the entire place, and they realize that these bombs don't make a noise, but they hurt like hell.
Hence the name.
Silent bombs!
Yippee!
Yeah.
I'm such a great person with names.
Man, I can't wait for that to be used in a matter of seconds.
Yes. The other group, so the rest of the guys were in a library and they find a secret entrance in the library.
Delilah
Which-
punched a wall.
Yeah, Delilah did punch a
Don't
wall.
remember that, but okay.
Oh, I
Uh,
no, because we were split up.
Yeah.
You were with us.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
with you, yeah.
Yeah. So these guys went into under in like the sewer sort of entrance, and they find a couple of grates. And looking in, they find this meeting taking place in this maze that was outside of the thing. And the group in the tower also found a telescope that also had the ability to play sound. So they were looking and they saw the same meeting taking place in the center of the maze, and they were able to hear everything as well. And in that, they find the Balan family, this Goliath war chief called Turok, and uh, some wizards who I can never remember the names.
no, me neither.
They were Brakosh's
Um,
characters,
Do you
weren't
even give them names?
I did. There were two
they?
of
They were
them.
definitely named.
I can't
I
remember.
can't remember. It was a female rogue, and well, it was a female rogue. That was it, wasn't it?
This was a year ago, a year and a half ago. So I
What's
don't.
your
I
sister's name? Or...
Yeah,
no, it wasn't Brakosh's sister. Oh no, it was Brakosh's
Yeah,
sister.
so I was about
No,
to say.
Brakosh's sister.
Yeah.
Brakosh's sister Celine was there, and
And William.
uh, William,
William. William
William and Tiller were there. No, Tiller wasn't there.
Tiller
Tiller
was
was
in the tower.
with
yeah.
us.
William was
Yeah,
there.
with the group.
They heard the discussion where everyone was ganging up on William, basically saying, "You must join our cause. You must join our cause. If you don't, you will feel it." Basically, and the Williams just said, "Like I am loyal to the king. I'm loyal to the Skyborn family, which is Hiller's family."
That's the family name. Yeah.
And they open up this box, find one of the same looking orbs, and just drop it at his feet, blowing him up to smithereens, blowing up Josh's brother right in front of Josh's face.
Fun things to
It was
come.
a very emotional moment.
Yeah.
Also, Rakosh's sister was one of the ones, I think, was the one who threw it. So essentially, these two,
I
Brakosh
thought it was
and
Goliath.
oh no, it was the Goliath, but sister gave it to the Goliath. That was it. No.
Yeah.
Right.
Details. I should have wrote it down.
Oh, I wonder if there was a
Just
chat you could have used.
I wonder. Anyway, so they threw this thing. So Brakosh and Josh were at odds for a little bit of it. Eventually, they've all found their way to like through this sewer to try and escape. But the guys in the tower went back down.
I left actually. I went back up towards the tower to find
Yeah,
Tiller.
that was it. Yeah, you went up,
Yes.
went to find them. The other guys went to leave. Thus being like the longest trek
It was
down the
the
tunnels.
longest walk slash run.
Yes,
That took a whole session.
not my proudest moment as a DM, I will tell you.
Yeah.
But the guys in the tower, they ended up going down, fighting their way out with a bunch of Goliaths that were working with the Goliath war chief, Turok, and they escape down to the library. Hodark went exploring for a little bit and then followed along with them. And as they were walking down, as they were going down the sewers, the Ellie, or Delilah, I should say, got attacked by a rat and got cholera again.
Yeah,
Not
yippee.
my finest moment.
I was more concerned that you
poor
had the rat
Delilah.
climb up her shirt. I thought that was kind of weird.
No, I don't think I can't remember what happened. You got sprayed by sewage water and then attacked by a rat.
Yep. Awesome.
Got
Thanks.
sneezed and became sick.
Later.
Later, yeah.
Later, yeah. So you guys managed to eventually escape through the thing, end up meeting up together, and you
This
find you.
is where
Right. Yeah, so we meet up together, but there's like the Goliaths. Turok has sick the Goliaths on everyone, trying to keep everyone in. So, Dodd, naturally, acts like one of them and puts us in one of the prisoner carts.
That was it, yeah.
Lucian gets loaded into a different one, and we have to leave him behind. But not before this happens with Josh, as he refuses to get in the fucking prisoner cart,
So
and he
what
wants to stick it to him. Go for it, Josh.
So what happened was, as we were all sneaking away, they all managed to sneak away very successfully, and I said that I would stick behind one because I'd be spotted, and people would kind of gather the fact of, hang on a minute, that's the brother we just, that's this guy's brother that we just blew up, and two, and the main reason is he saw Sir Wallace nearby, so
Who's keeping people locked down in the
yeah.
city and locking up prisoners.
So
Yeah,
he
pretty
lashed it out with him, and lashed it out, and they realised that their ideals did not match anymore. So,
Oi, Josh!
knowing he was then outnumbered, he tried to attack one of the guards. Little did I know it was a very heavily armed guard.
Oh, he explained that one to you.
I don't
Oh,
remember
I
that.
You do?
Like, in great detail. But this is cutting him
Oh
off.
yes, you did.
During
I do
this
remember
fight,
that.
You were trying to cut his arm off to grab his sword so you could
Yeah.
fuck off with it.
Yes,
You were
I
trying to
did
make a
right.
distraction for us to leave as well.
That too.
However,
However, hey Josh, can you hurry up? We've got to get the princess out of here.
Brakosh
That was
yells
Brakosh.
in his finest hour. Well, we skipped over his weakest moment. He stood up to the racist lady back in campaign 1 for us. But in his finest moment, all hell breaks loose. No, it was. It was one of the most funny moments ever.
All hell breaks loose.
As a man who tried to
We
get the
saved
distraction.
your ass, by the way.
Tried to
You weren't getting out of
distract
there. You weren't
Yeah.
getting out of there.
Everyone managed to get onto the thing in the end, and onto the cart, the prison cart. They ended up going. They ended up being rushed out of the city, being chased as they go.
Managed
And
to
then-
somehow get
and
a
then they
weapon
get-
out of it as well.
Yeah. Well, you got your equipment from the shop. Oh yeah, you.
No, I
took-
yeeted my sword and then got a better one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, you
a
did.
guard. That was my first nat 20, I think it was. The one
Yeah.
of one and very few.
Not a common thing to come.
Yeah, not a
Yes.
sign of things to come, apart from near the
Uh,
end.
And then what happened was, towards the end of this, they were being chased. They managed to get to this bridge, and immediately they fell off it as the horses got scared. And
Yeah, we were being chased.
yes, and the bridge was over like this river. They ended up going into the river. Everyone started panicking. Hodark ended up floating away. Mostly Jack stopped playing his character. And he was never seen again.
Yeah, never
Until
again.
anyway,
Until later.
moving on. So yeah, so everyone was swimming. Nari couldn't swim, so he started panicking, he started drowning. Heimdall just turned that he can stand because he's a Goliath. He
But
just
the Nari
picks
can't
Nari.
swim.
I didn't
I think-
remember that.
No,
No,
it
it's
was
Tiller,
definitely was it Tiller? No, I very much remember Nari not being able to swim because Yusuf took the piss out of him for it later on.
Oh wait, no, yeah, I think it was Nari and Tiller.
It was both of them definitely. It's just I completely forgot that Nari can't swim.
Yeah. So he puts two of them over his shoulders, and he begins walking through the thing as he's alive. He's literally just taller than the water depth, and they keep walking out. They manage to find a break in the woods that they hide in, and they camp out for the first night. They have to get Tiller from Bilan, which is on the if I remember my
Eastern
geography correctly, it's the western side of the city, and they have to get him onto the easternmost side of the city, or her on the easternmost side of the city.
Yeah.
I'm going off the map that
Okay,
Amal
fair enough.
drew.
Yeah.
Drew.
Minor point. I don't know if you're going to mention this. Sorry. As we go to camp out or whatever, well, we're not quite at night time yet. There are papers that just get dropped from the air
I thought
all
that was the
over the
next day,
fucking.
wasn't it?
I don't remember. Was
Yeah,
it the
that
next
was
day?
that was the next day.
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
next day
the
it is.
first day was the Dreamstones, actually. First day was the I
Oh
forgot to
yes.
mention them.
I
We all
forgot about the
forgot them.
fucking Dreamstones. When did we get those?
That
We
must have been
got them
campaign
in
1.
the first ever dungeon, except no one knew they were Dreamstones. This was the first time they actually worked.
Yeah.
What Dreamstones were? They found this this bag of like 3 or 4 yellow gems. They were useless. They weren't they couldn't sell them because no one wanted them. And what happened is that night these things were glowing in their bag, and they had a dream of the town's destruction, the city of Bilan, not Bilan, the city of, like the capital city destruction,
Yeah.
and they had a dream of a dark figure, like when head basically decapitated all over the place of like all these people they've met, all the people they're going to meet, and everyone's just panicking. They have no idea what's going on. And
Minor
I'm
point.
yes,
Heimdall wasn't in the dream with us. He was one of the skewered heads.
yes, he was.
We didn't understand, as Killian
You
Blackburn in the dream said. You don't understand, because I remember everyone was like,
That's part of that was also because he wasn't asleep with you guys. He was looking out on guard, if you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Moving on.
Feels like
So
that
the
was
next day they
intentional.
find the papers falling from the sky that were saying like, "Oh, these
Wanted.
criminals are
Wanted.
wanted." Then they were being looked for by the entire city, the entire country of Bosniak, which was
The name of the country.
very
we give it.
cleverly named by me.
By
Ah.
us. I feel like
Oh,
we
yeah.
all,
Oh
because
yeah, it
like
was a group.
Bosnia mode was a joke around that time.
It
Wasn't
was around that time.
Yeah, it was around that time.
Um,
I wasn't involved in naming.
Minor character point. I remember I let slip that Delilah was quite happy to see one of these wanted posters because she likes looking at the faces on them and seeing how bad they're drawn. Letting slip that maybe she'd been on one before. Ha ha ha.
Angled.
Yeah.
Who's right? They
Huh?
never get their nose right.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I think I drew it, but I
Yeah,
can't remember.
I think you did. I do have
I wouldn't be
memory.
able to find it if I wanted to.
Um, okay, so after a while, I can't remember the exact timeline of everything.
A lot
Because
happened in that.
a
in
lot
that period.
happened during this 2-week in-game journey.
Yeah.
We moved through the forest and
We
then
moved
like
through the forest and
we got found by some farmer, but like because we were on his land, but like not a farmer, it was forest land, some estate owner, but he didn't recognize he hadn't got the paper yet. Or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know that he got questioned later, but around this time is when we helped the owl.
Oh yes, the guys found their first owl bear. They went to go hunt.
Our only
Uh,
animal.
I think they went to go hunt for it, but I think it was Heimdall basically
Heimdall.
said, "No, let's look, let's study it, not study, but let's look at it, let's appreciate it." And they begin tracking it, and they find that this owlbear isn't really violent, but is somewhat territorial, like trying to scare the guys away. They end up going into this cave where they find 2 owlbears, and one of them looked very sick. It turns out because Tilla has some magical, what was it?
She's got some
Healing
plot
spells,
convenience. Yeah, she's got healing.
because she was part cleric, part wizard, I think it was.
I looked at the character sheet and I don't remember. I played as
I
a
looked
one.
at it. I'm pretty sure I did as well, but I don't remember that.
delete the character
Oh,
sheet.
she's going all around the village, eh? We're all playing as a.
Uh, but yeah, she used a healing word as Heimdall ended up helping this thing give birth, and it was a beautiful moment where the group ended up making their kill ratio for owlbears in the negative.
Yeah. We also leveled up, more importantly.
Yeah, so I found a bunch of
I
gold hidden
swear
in
I
them.
stood outside, like protecting the entrance of the cave, but I
Probably.
don't remember.
You
Yeah.
still
I was
leveled up.
My character was probably so pissed about what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those.
There was
Was
another
this
part.
around? Sorry, no, you carry on.
Yeah, there was another part going along where the group found this kid screaming, and some wolves were like going around a tree, and the kid was on top of the tree, screaming for help. Nari went along, killed one of the, and some other guys killed the others. Two wolves went running off, and I think was what happened. And
Something like that.
they rescued this kid, and brought him to his mother. The mother lived in a house nearby.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is a sensitive
Ah.
topic. Everyone. The
I'm
house
trying
nearby.
not to curse you out.
The house. They go to the house nearby. They get some like food, some nourishment, some warmth. They pretended that Tilla was just a normal peasant girl, which was interesting. Some They went to offer some help to get rid of the wolves to stop them from harassing them. They go to the den and they find that the alpha of the pack is a dire wolf. And after they got rid of him quickly and all the other wolves, they went back and found that the house had been attacked. And I think it was Brakosh who was the only character there with Tilla, who stayed there with Tilla.
Why I let
Yeah.
that happen? I
Because he was trying to see if he could rob them a little bit.
Yes, he was. He managed to steal a bit of gold before he realized that there were guards knocking on the door. He managed to get Tilla to sneak outside with him, and they went hiding in the woods and watched what happened. The house got torched. Silent bombs were blown up, and the whole place set fire. Around about this time, the group ended up coming back, seeing the place on fire, and Nari, because he had PTSD with houses on fire, as he watched his own house on fire when he was like 5 years old.
Which we'll probably go into in a
We'll
bit.
go
'Cause
into a lot
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
He ended up being completely traumatized.
he started screaming.
He
Screaming.
screamed. We had to
We
run
had to
because we
run.
thought, yeah,
He-
shit.
He alerted a couple of guards. The guards came running in trying to figure out who was screaming. And put a long story short, they managed to escape.
Just.
But alerted the guards to their general presence and trying to figure out. So
I know what happened next.
bumping into guards became a little bit more frequent. Along the next couple of days' journey, they found a wagon pushed up, like broken down outside outside this city in the distance on the main road. It was the only wagon on there, and they find that this thing says magical curios and mysterious junk, something like that. They find that the guy who owned it was Terence,
Hey,
the drunk from the tavern.
the unofficial party member.
Yeah, the unofficial party member.
Uh,
The
and
unofficial beautiful bastard, or bachelor as you've updated the role to be.
Yeah.
yes,
I noticed
the
his names.
last time the group met him, Delilah had convinced him to save the town of Berrinwood by going to a
To the
different
pub.
tavern,
Yeah.
because the tavern was going to
It was
explode
closed.
because of two.
Yeah, and the only way he was going to stop the flood was by drinking the alcohol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
That's
a
Genius!
That
That
is crazy.
I forgot I
genius.
did that.
Yeah.
That was a great moment. I'm glad I did that now.
everyone got a bunch of magical items from this place. They spent their gold.
Specifically, some immovable rods, which
I got
came in
2
handy.
immovable rods. Yeah.
You use
Never.
the
Never.
immovable rod, I think, at the end of the campaign.
No, we got
And I
them in
don't
that shack. We definitely got
Yeah.
them in that shack. Yeah.
Oh, I tried to use one because I thought that it was so weighty that it would fall, but no, it just holds its
didn't
place
move.
in space.
Yeah.
Because I tried to fucking put it on the back of Balan's neck and crush her, but it didn't work.
Yeah. So what ended up happening? Nari got the most important thing, because it was the only one that was used in the next coming campaigns, was a robe of many items. And he only ever used it once.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was a good fucking use.
It was a brilliant use. Yeah.
We'll
get there though.
Yeah. After that, it turns out the Goliath war chief Turok and his fellow warriors happened across the main road and saw the guys and started chasing them up a mountain, which was the only short. They had like 3 choices of which way to go.
They chase us into the forest first, and then what happens in a minute.
Yeah, they
At the
chased
base
them
of the
into a
mountain.
forest, and they were given 3 directions: either go underground in the mines, over the mountain, or follow along the main road. And the guys chose the mountains, so they began to ascend. And eventually, they got to a point where the Goliaths caught up with them, and Heimdall managed to convince Turok to a one-on-one fight.
Yeah.
One of the best moments of the
That
whole
was
series.
one of the best moments of the whole series. It was genuinely one of the most tense.
Oh, I was
things.
screaming.
Yeah,
it was like the first like fan art I'd made for like someone else's character.
Yeah.
There are a few miniature character moments that I'll go over after this, but it's not as important as this. So you go for it.
Massive thing.
Yeah. So he ends up getting bad. Heimdall gets badly beaten, but he somehow comes out on top.
He rings him out.
Yeah, rings. Oh yeah, that was it. He rings him out.
German suplex.
He manages to push him out of the ring. That they were told thing. So it's like sumo rules. Like either you die or you get pushed out.
Yeah, that's the only reason we thought he'd stand a chance. It was a Goliath rules match.
Yeah. And it was a rite of passage type of deal. And these guys basically said like, "Oh, you've won this battle, and you have our word. We will leave you for a few more days, but next time you won't be so lucky." Like typical villain speech.
Heimdall took his axe as well.
He did take his axe.
Oh yeah, he did take his axe. Yeah,
because it's in the art.
Yeah, and they begin climbing a mountain. Climbing this mountain, they found on the top of this mountain, or towards the top, a polar bear.
Oh yes, they did. Yes.
That began charging him, charging the group, and as it got to the close, it didn't attack. It rolled on its back and started asking for belly scratches.
Yeah, because I remember Heimdall was like, "No, guys, don't attack it. I want to see if I can rub its belly."
Yeah. So Heimdall ended up rubbing its belly, and it turned out that the polar bear was a druid. Who was going to play a part in later on in the story, but I think I forgot about him.
Yeah, it was kind of weird that he just showed up and we never saw him again. But also, it was a funny interaction, so who cares? We asked him to go alert some people, but he never got back to us, so we just assumed he died.
I think he did. I think what it was is Garrick wanted me to introduce a character for his campaign, and it would also play some part in my campaign as well. But I forgot all about him because I didn't really think much of him.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
I'm great as a DM, I swear. But carrying on, they talk to him, they do some stuff. They managed to get Crow across this cliff face. Somehow, Josh managed to survive falling. Luckily, he was tied by a rope and was swung onto the other side of this cliff face.
Can I ask like a few questions? Has the Heimdall tree piss scene happened yet?
Tree piss scene?
No.
Right. There was a point where Brakosh missed his fucking firebolt to light something on fire.
This
and
was
to
after
put it
we
out.
got to the bottom of the mountain.
That was after the bottom of the mountain, yeah.
Okay, no, because there was just like minor character moments that just quickly mentioned here. Delilah, like after the fucking Josh's family died, I remember Delilah asking Josh if he was okay. So minor character moment there. And then no, it was when William died.
Oh, when William died. Okay.
Yeah, his family. That's all it meant, Josh. And then there was the part where
Foreshadowing.
Delilah and Brakosh went to go get some food, but Brakosh decided to kill this thing, and Delilah was
It was like
uncharacteristically upset about it.
it was like rabbit or something.
It was a rabbit or something.
Oh
It
yeah,
was
I
a
remember.
rabbit.
So
And it was
one of the first few nights we missed this.
Yeah. There we go.
We went over it. First few nights, the guys was hungry. They had ran out of
Mhm.
rations and they needed some food and water. So the guys went out hunting.
Wants to prepare a stew.
Brakoff finds a badger and kills a badger.
That's
That
what
was
it was. Yes.
trying to hide in a hole. He ends up going and putting his hand in it with his sword, and ends up stabbing all of the baby badgers in there. Ends up bringing them back
Yeah.
still on his sword, if I remember correctly.
Showing them to Delilah's face, like, "Hey, Delilah, look what I just did."
Bear in mind, everyone else said that you just like one single rabbit, one fox.
Yeah, like a
No, you got
deer.
a family of badgers.
Yeah, and the family. That was so fucking stupid.
Yeah, I let him get away with a lot of shit. But I wouldn't have done it now.
Delilah just fucking
Yeah.
poor girl.
I think
but-
quite a lot of us, when they obviously Delilah saw it, but when it got back, well, when you both got back, it was a case of like, what the fuck?
He was fucked up.
Yeah.
Was.
He got yeah.
He's fucked
Uh,
up.
Not as
Yes.
bad as the campaign, though, I will say.
Yeah.
So
Back to-
moving on.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So back to the mountain. They find this hobbling village. No, not hobbling. Halfling.
Halfling, yeah.
Yeah.
Halfling. I was saying
Mr.
hobbit
Frodo.
and halfling. Mr. Hoblin.
Mr. Hoblin.
So yeah, the worst part of this entire campaign came along at this point where they.
He remembers.
It was
Would you like me to talk them through your embarrassing fucking dungeon?
All I'm gonna say is I had an idea based off Scooby Doo with an item called the Deck of Illusions, and I thought it would be fun.
We didn't even get
And
it.
they could pick it up at the end of it, so they could use it, and they never did. They didn't pick it up. They
So
just
what
got
happened was
Okay.
we all freaked out at the end of a session because we were all looking around and we were like, oh, do we see anything? And then we look up and we see a fucking red dragon. And he was
red
like,
dragon.
right, see you next week. And
Yeah, so next
Yeah.
week starts. We're all like,
I
fuck!
I
We
might have
try,
to
like-
stop a second. My screen has gone off. I don't know what might be captured, if anything is getting captured at all.
Okay.
I just heard a massive crack as well.
Ooh.
So I don't know.
Ooh,
It's still
crack.
it's still recording. It might just have recorded a black screen for a moment there.
I had an idea, and it was poorly thought out.
Yeah.
Okay, so we try backing off because there's no way we fight a red dragon. Brakosh, on the other hand, decides to try and plead with a pure evil being. Thought he says,
Yeah.
"Oh, great dragon, do you mind letting us through?" or whatever he said. It got to the point where, like, I think it was Heimdall. Oh, the dragon hasn't attacked us yet. He just charges through it, and lo and behold,
No. What happened was I used my perception and I realised that there was some sort of glimmer to this red dragon, like an unnatural
sorry,
glimmer.
Josh. Sorry, Josh. Completely correct.
The
yes.
only
And
good
then-
thing I've done.
No, it was a good thing because then Heimdall charged through it, and
Where he
Wah,
charged.
it-
No, he
it's
was
an
on top
illusion.
of something.
yeah, he jumped up and fucking charged through him.
I thought he charged through a door. Because he was
Oh,
like,
it
I'm
did-
gonna
oh,
charge
it
through it, and
was
then he
a
charged through a door.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
if
It
we
was
go into
funny.
this thing,
Yeah, keep going.
Mind you-
We walk through this gate. We walk into this mansion-ish looking thing. It doesn't even look like a mansion. It's just like a haunted
It's
house.
just a haunted
We
house.
walk in. The most important thing we came away with here was a few books, including like a book of famous Goliaths,
Yes.
and
And
I think there was
thieves.
one about thieves. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a
So
book of famous thieves and a book of famous Goliaths.
Goliaths.
As a bit of world building. In the book
yeah,
of Goliaths, which was the only one I can remember, was Turok, a guy called Sabiorn, and Bjorn the Blood Axe. And it turns out
Yeah.
Bjorn the Blood Axe was more important than these guys thought they was.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
also, in the Book of Thieves, Hooded Eagles is where Delilah's like, no, gentlemen
Yeah.
thieves, no. So that was to set up something that happens in like a week. So we go into this place, we open a door, there's wolves, we think, dragon outside wasn't real. Oh, the holograms next door. The holograms next door. What holograms next door? The holograms. Go upstairs. What are they? Hologram. We go all the way back to the start of this fucking haunted house. We go behind like the stairs and open a door.
Cool.
And there's just this stupid douchebag sitting there with his bag of wanking cards. Delilah runs in and drop kicks him in his fucking face because we were all finished by that point.
Yeah.
We beat him up and like, I don't even remember. We probably just told it. We probably just knocked him out and fucked off. We didn't pick
Yeah, we
up his
didn't do
deck. We didn't
anything.
fucking
Yeah.
want it. And then we left for the next town. And we all
We left for the
collectively said,
town.
Paul, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Well, that might have been a very terrible start to the session, but it ended cool.
Carry on.
Yes.
What's this one end?
It was amazing. The one and only time Nari used his robe of useful items.
It saved this session.
Yes.
It
That,
saved
the next
this
time,
session.
the next time you did a session based off of something popular, fucking, it was the worst session we've ever done. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yeah, carry
Yeah,
on.
that was so that didn't happen.
That was the moment. Yeah, that's not canon. That didn't. That one
No,
didn't
that
really
wasn't canon. That was
Ah.
that was a dream. Anyway, so they are now like the far end of the mountain. They need to get down. So also at this point, they see flying above them a flying ship.
Oh yes.
Story.
And these guys are on a snowy mountain. They're not wearing camo gear or white clothing. They stick out like a sore thumb. So
Especially the
they-
two red knights
And the purple haired woman.
yes,
and the
And-
Goliath.
yeah. So they
Yeah, at least
start,
he's grey.
they start
Carry on.
blasting cannons at them. In the end, they kept
It's
missing,
an avalanche.
and they kept missing these guys. They end up throwing some silent bombs at the top of the mountain, causing a humongous avalanche coming towards these guys. Nari had the brilliant idea, and I love him to pieces for it. Using using it
So using
through this patch on the ground, which was random, and the patch was a door.
just
So
a
what does he?
steel door, yeah.
It's not just a normal steel door. So what does he end up doing?
We
Puts it-
slid down it.
Rips it out of the snow, puts it down the thing, and ends up getting everyone sitting on it and sliding down. As they were sliding down, they pick up a goat along the way, and
That's why he's the goat.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then it'll just go all the way down and just start skidding on like the ground, putting away
The goat lift.
like, in total about in like a
I
space of
support
an hour.
the goat lift.
In an hour, they do a half a day's journey.
This was one of Josh's nat 20s, by the way. He screamed at someone to get out the way.
Yeah.
What happened was though, I only remembered this yesterday. Hang on. I think I
Remember,
bumped my mic.
carry on.
I rolled because I remember rolling, and I rolled at disadvantage, and I figured out what it was, and it rolled 2 dice. The funny thing was, one was a nat 20, the other one was a nat 1.
So you cheated.
So I cheated, and I didn't realise.
I mean, just for context, when we do advantage in Paul's campaign, it just means you get an added bonus to what you're doing as opposed to rolling 2 different dice. Which is a rule I'm in favor of. Unlike Paul's rolling on 2-hand fighting, which has made Nari an absolute beast at killing fucking everything, because he essentially gets extra millions of attacks.
I'm terrible with remembering rules.
You don't know them, let alone remember them. How attacks work.
Anyway,
Joking around with you, obviously. We get to the bottom of the mountain, and this is when Delilah starts really feeling that chlamydia, or whatever it fucking was. Cholera? I don't know.
I can't remember. I think I might have said it was cholera. I don't actually remember what it was.
You said it earlier. Start with a C.
I think it was. But,
Cholera. Yeah.
I don't actually remember if that was what it was. But anyway, so they ended up making a raft going across this river, which led to this temple. And Delilah was feeling very sick, so she goes into. Everyone brings her into the thing, tries to heal her up. Get the priests and clerics there to heal her up. While this is going on,
Yeah.
they hear
Horns.
outside.
Yeah.
And horns, like battle horns. And they find that the Balan Fighter Guild that Josh was previously a part of out there, just ready to lay into you guys. And they were waiting for you all to come out and just.
This is
So they
also
can all-
very sacred
Yeah.
town as well. They were like, please, like this is a sacred place.
Oh
you
yeah,
have
I
battle
mean
in this place.
Sacred Temple, which was
Yeah.
Delilah's first interactive with clerics and things sacred, sign of things to come.
Yeah.
We had to go out there. I just remember what comes after this.
Oh no.
Go. We have to go out there and fight them. However, Delilah can't. She's being healed.
She's being healed.
So I have to play as Tiller for a little bit, which
Yeah.
just ended up in a bit of telekinesis here and there.
Yeah. And,
But Heimdall raged.
Yeah.
Heimdall
Heimdall
raged for
raged.
a second time. His blood rage went on for a second time. He ended up
Hold on.
killing a bunch of people.
Yeah, hold on a second. Take it back a second. Heimdall, before we did this, they were all outside. Heimdall was suggesting that we turn ourselves in, give Tiller back, and we could get out of this alive. Josh wasn't having that one bit because he didn't want his precious little Tiller being captured by the enemy forces.
We didn't really
They were
mention
both
this
childhood
earlier.
friends. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
childhood
we were
friends.
childhood friends, and over the course of this journey, it became a little bit more than just childhood
Good
friends. Yes.
Yeah, so here I am doing like my best Charlie Bucket not Charlie Bucket, fucking Oliver Twist impression for. It's like, please don't hand me in. Whatever the case, Josh says that we fight, so we have to fight, and we go out there and you were saying, Heimdall rages and kills a lot of people. One of them being
Wallace.
So
Sir Wallace. He grabbed his head and ripped it
and then
off.
rushed it off.
Yep, that
Help
was
it.
a thing that happened. And
Yeah.
he also tried to break into the temple as well, but the guys also happened to barricade.
Yeah, the ladder had been recovered by this point. Just
Yeah.
miniature.
We were all like ran back into the temple.
Yeah, we were like.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
must have been me and Nathan were probably the strongest characters at the time, so we just
You
stood
are.
at the door. Or
Yeah.
we tried to block the door as much as we can, but luckily the rage subsided. Thank God.
So
So yeah.
with this, they were almost at the end of the journey. They're basically 5/6 of the way, I guess.
Oh, we're not going to mention the thing.
Oh bugger.
Um,
Sorry.
Do you want me to take it?
what thing?
The letter.
Oh yes.
We walk outside. Josh finds Sir Wallace's body, head
Oh, yeah.
decapitated. On his person, he finds this letter, which essentially says, Josh, despite whatever path you've taken being different to mine, you were always like a son to me. And, I love you. I love you.
Yeah.
Which was the end of it. I love you. Nari, if ever we do an animated adaptation,
This is
isn't
getting
in.
retcon. This is getting retcon
He
straight
picks
away.
up Sir Wallace's head, holds it like this, and says, "Well, that's kind of gay," and then throws his head away as we.
I thought he danced with it.
No,
No,
he
he didn't.
shook it up and down,
Oh.
so he shook the jaw up and down, so it was all like, that's
pretty good.
Because he
And then
shed
he
a
threw
tear.
the head away.
Yeah.
Yeah, Josh
Yeah,
shed
this
a
is
tear,
not
and I
good.
made some fan art of it.
Yeah,
And
this is not good. It was.
yeah.
That's such an emotional gut punch as well.
That's
Yeah,
so
and then a
funny.
dick punch.
Yeah,
Or
as the
dick
dick
kick.
punch came in. I mean, the real dick kick came immediately after, as Brakosh kept bullying you, even though that your surrogate father had basically died, and it ended up in a fight where Josh got lit on fire and Brakosh got stabbed, and it got split up or whatever.
Yeah.
And
It was,
Josh was very
Brakosh
disheartened.
at this point really got on Josh White Attent's nerves.
Only?
well, he got on everyone's nerves, but more so him. I think he was also taking the piss because he was trying to see if he could seduce Tiller at the time. So
Yeah,
as
he
like,
tried to.
so as the,
Well,
as the
long story short,
as
it
the,
ended up with him being dropped on his head. Quite literally.
yeah.
I forgot he was doing that.
Yeah, I was not having that.
Alright.
And then later on, this didn't happen. This happened out of everybody's view. Oh, this was the point where I think this was when he lit a tree on fire, and then Heimdall put the fire out with his own piss.
It's funny that I remember that more than I remember Brakosh trying to steal Josh's car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was also around this time where I and Paul went like we split up from the main group for a while. There was a moment on the top of the mountain where everybody was like, it was like a really romantic thing, and they were like, "Oh, you should get with Tiller," sort of thing. And I'm like, in his head he would, but he's really socially awkward when it comes to that sort of thing. So it's like, no.
One of the many
Um,
reasons why
and then
your character was so similar to you.
Yeah. Um, and
admit,
and then later we then went away, and that was when he like took watch when everybody else was asleep. Tilla couldn't sleep, so she came up even, and we talked, and I admitted my feelings for her, and she was very excited.
aw.
Also,
Um,
they had a dreamstone that night because it was like quite
I don't
towards the end of the thing with the dark metallic room, and they found a gorgon in it, which is like a giant mechanical bull that spews acid gas.
Oh yes.
Which is really weird, because did that not come up until the
It did.
next like campaign?
Yes.
I am good at floor planning. I had
Fucking
a-
helpful. I
I
can't believe why
enjoyed
did the Dreamstone show us that? Oh, by the way, guys.
By the way, there's going to be a really big
Josh is gonna get paralyzed. Petrified, rather.
Not
Yeah.
turned to
but
stone.
yeah. Yeah, so we
That's
were
for
panicking
later.
about something that wasn't even gonna happen this campaign, but yeah, carry
Yeah.
on.
But no, it showed you a bunch of stuff that happened in like the third campaign as well. Like, there was well, I can't remember. There were some other things.
Yeah, I can't
It was
remember.
it was also a dream. Me and Brakosh had like admitted that we were like, oh, it's a dream. We can't hurt each other. We beat the fuck out of each other.
True. Yeah, true. It was funny.
Granted, in my head,
They also
beat the
in their
work.
last night, on their last night as well, they got ambushed by by a group of mercenaries
Oh
known as
yes.
Beastmasters, who are a reoccurring faction in the current Dead Oasis campaign.
Yeah, we mentioned them last session.
Yeah.
It should be noted that they are all very incestuous and bestiality.
All right, I will have to cut this short. I'm being shouted at that I need to go.
I'll carry on if you need me to.
Yeah, we can carry on at the
Yes.
if
You trust
obviously-
me?
Well, I'll watch the video back, and if I'll put some
Wait,
angry
put some
comments in the
comments. Yeah, some angry letters in the comments.
I think I can carry us to the end.
Yeah.
I
I
think
know where you live. I'll be back in about half an hour anyway.
not anymore.
That's
Okay,
why I say no. You don't.
I'll carry this on for half an hour. Hopefully, I don't get anything wrong. I shouldn't.
It's mostly just the city, what happens in the city, what happens after the city, and then
Yeah.
how you leave the city, how you get back to the city, and then
All sorts
how
of
you
Yeah.
things.
how you end it.
Yeah.
Okay,
So happens.
so I'll see you in a bit, Paul. Where were we?
So we're I forgot.
Oh,
Paul, come back!
so we fuck.
So we beat the Beast Masters. That's what happened.
The Beastmasters, and they were incestuous, and Nari and Delilah carved a guy up together, and it was really cool.
Yeah, we beat
You,
the shit out of
I think this is where you tried to hold one of them up against a tree and like intimidate, like the fuck are you doing? You
yeah,
just
it
couldn't
didn't work.
do it.
Also, I had a negative on my intimidation, and this was also at the time. Again, clarify this
Yeah.
again. I was still very new to D&D at this point. I didn't know how ability score improvement or feats worked, so I was very underpowered for a very long time, and then I leveled up myself up a little bit.
Yeah, which is very funny. We only had the grappler feat available to us at that time, so even then, Paul let us grapple without it. Okay, so
Yeah.
from there, what?
So
I
at this
barely.
point, we then make it back to the city.
Right, we make it to the city and we have to get in.
Yeah, we got it. We
So,
managed to somehow get in. We got in because
I remember
we
how
thought
getting.
yes,
We got over the wall somehow. There was some sort of throwing business involved.
yeah,
I th-
ropes and stuff like that.
ropes and throwing. I remember that Heimdall and Brakosh split off.
Yes, I think there was
Yes.
a hole in the wall, maybe.
No, they split off to go through the main entrance and pretended to be a traveling like circus or something,
Yeah.
and it worked, which was funny. It worked, but either way, there's something to be explained here. There are different districts in
In
the
the capital.
place. The only ones that matter, because I don't even think we visited the silver one. There's the dirt and there's the gold.
Gold.
The dirt is where the peasants and the poor people live. The gold is where those fucking capitalists live, like Josh.
The family, I should say. The family of well, the Wyatt family. They were closely linked to like the Skyborn family who run the country.
Yeah.
And they were a
Oh,
family of wizards, which is where
yeah.
William's magic came from. And Josh did not get that magical stuff when he was born.
Oh,
So,
right. Really quick mentions. The reason Turok, he mentioned this during the fight with Heimdall. Why are you siding with the Skyborns? They have oppressed our people for ages. And Heimdall replied, I don't care. I'm not into this
okay.
politics shit. So what happened is we managed to get in, and we were in the Dirt District. And this is where my backstory comes in with the Hooded Eagles. So essentially, I mentioned the whole Robin Hood thing, and as you can imagine, of course, the Robin Hood is going to be popular with the poor people. So, they were elated to see, us. Even Josh, despite his upper class status, joking around, obviously, and Brakosh, of course, he lived in the Gold District too.
He did
That's
live in
not
another family that was close to the family. I
the Dark
think
Stars.
the Dark Star family. I think the Dark Star, as in Brakosh's dad, wish I could remember his name, was the king's right hand man. I'm pretty sure.
Skipped over.
I'm
I
pretty
think we
sure
may
he
have
was.
skipped over something at some point. At some point during this whole fiasco, we thought. No, it was after the prison break. I think.
We'll get to that when we
I
get to
hope.
I think.
No, it wasn't because okay. At some point during the mountain range, we found Brakosh's sister, and she tried to stop us by
Yeah.
using a minion called Dwayne the Rock Golem.
Oh yes.
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah. That
Brakosh
was
wouldn't fight
before.
because he didn't want to hurt his sister. So a
This is
bit of
stupid.
Brakosh mercy being shown, quite a rare sight. Well, was that when Josh's emotional state was fucked? We'll never know.
Because he's
So
a
we
dick.
go to a tavern called like the Fat Chicken or some shit. It's some turkey naming convention, and we go in and we're loving it. We're drinking up, loving it as much as we can. We're drinking up. We're deciding what to do.
I think
Delilah gets a fucking message apparently, or a letter from the Hooded Eagles saying like, "Hey, by the way, we know where Jigen is, who is the leader of this group, Delilah's father figure, because her real father died. We're gonna break him out of death row. By the way, come meet us here at this time." Okay, I was excited.
yeah.
During the time, some lower class reporter came in and talked to us and asked us to describe a few stories about our past. I don't remember the stories we gave.
I don't remember that at all,
Because
but I think it definitely did happen. I just don't
no, it
remember what we
happened
said.
because Nathan was
He was silent. He says
Nathan
silent
was
now
silent.
because he
They
wanted to
asked
get a
him.
short rest.
Well, he was silent. He got a minus shot less, but they asked him. He got up and left. because he wasn't comfortable discussing his past.
Ah,
As we've
yes.
mentioned before, PTSD. Dolly gets up, goes out, comforts him, learns about the whole thing with the being tortured and all this shit with the Black Hand and how the blade saved him, and it's like kind of the first moment of what's something that happens later. I kind of have to mention it because the campaign's about their wedding. You
Oh,
know, the
yeah.
upcoming
Yeah,
campaign,
yeah.
about their wedding.
Yeah,
So
the future
we
mini
go back.
campaign.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, my bad. Future
It's
mini
fine.
campaign.
Yeah.
By the way, they go back in. They decide we're gonna go see the king straight up. Josh should be able to get us there. He wants to talk to the king, didn't you? You wanted to persuade the king.
I just didn't. I was basically saying, look, the goal was to get the princess back. The princess is in the city. We're so close. Let's get her
Yeah,
to the castle with some resistance, mind you, not from the
yeah,
group, from the castle guard. We had a
yeah.
lot of. Again, this is where new to D&D, I didn't set up my
Character
character
correctly.
correctly. I keep hearing loud cracks, and that means my mic gets disconnected. So
I
yeah,
mean,
but yeah.
you know,
So we had some issue with the royal guard, but we managed to finally get them to pull down the drawbridge.
yeah.
And then
Essentially,
we basically.
they basically tied our hands together and then brought us to the king.
Yeah.
By the way, there's a little funny moment. We're walking to something that just didn't end up happening. There's a mural on the wall of 5 adventurers who happen to look just like us, except the one that looks like Josh is wielding fire.
That got
These people-
retconned. That got retconned to lightning.
Yeah, but okay, it's retconned, but I think it's funnier that these people aren't us. They just happen to look like us.
As my
But
character's
yeah.
name, Joshua White the 10th. It was probably Joshua
Mm,
White the 9th on the mural, or maybe
yeah,
even earlier.
Josh White the 5th.
Yeah.
I just remember that Brakosh got gagged because he wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Yes, that was. Trust me, that was his best moment.
So we get into the capital and we talk to the king, and he's got bones to pick with Delilah, Hooded Eagles. Last mission we did, we robbed the king of money, and Hyamdord.
Which
And
is
he's
the thing we didn't know at the time.
Yeah, so like he says like Heimdall, like he says to Heimdall, like you have Heimdall cuts him off. It's like, no, we don't need to talk about that in front of Tiller. We don't want to upset her, do we? Which was like, I remember saying, you're going to tell us about this after the campaign. Refrained. So essentially, we were essentially let off the hook for getting Tiller out of there because we'd helped the Skyborns.
And then the king was also like very annoyed initially because we were like, "What is the meaning of this?" Right? And I just went, "You speak," and like towards Tiller, and they were like, "Who like kept them waiting for so long?" And we all went, "That guard over there," and he just killed that guard.
Oh yeah, you're so right.
Yeah,
forgot about that. But we were essentially invited to the royal buffet because we'd gotten the princess back, and that's when we met Jesse and Walter Wyatt,
who is the uncle of yours truly,
Josh W. Yeah,
yeah.
And we got washed up, and we got put into some really nice clothes to go to the thing. It was nice. We hadn't showered in weeks. We probably stunk like shit.
Yeah, before that though,
we talk about all this. Yeah.
Yeah, we went up to like a watchtower basically, like with like the magician thing, and we were looking around to make sure or war room. I think we were looking in the war room with Walter. Yeah. I was like, let me look around to see what happened. I got a beast like stung my eye because I rolled a nat 1.
Yeah.
So I had like basically a grasshopper or like a space hopper on my face because a beast stung me in the eye.
I also remember that Hyamdall decided that he wasn't going to speak for a little bit and just gave intimidating glares to all of the guards, and it was really fun. he asked him to like do something, and Hyamdall was just like, and he was like,
yeah.
But yeah, Walter White was like, oh, it's so good to see you, my boy. Blah 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 blah.
My boy. Yeah.
My boy. Yeah. This piece is what all true warriors strive for. Yeah. We were just wondering what Ganon was up to. So essentially, we went to the. I'm joking. Yeah. So we went to the buffet, and it was tense and all this, and well, it was tense for not us.
Yeah.
We got a bit drunk, bit of this, bit of that. Delilah wants to go look around, so does other people. Josh stays behind because I remember specifically this
I
moment. I
was
was
dancing
there for
with
it.
Tiller. Yeah.
Yeah, you were dancing with Tiller. It was really nice. A bunch of us snuck out, and
I then.
essentially what ended up happening was you. If you want to explain what happened to you,
So
because
what happened was I moved away for a minute because I can't remember exactly what I did. I asked somebody a question and then I went back to Tilla, tried to dance with her again. But
yeah,
didn't realize, and I played it off as like, oh sorry, I can't see. A bee stung me in the eye.
yeah,
And he was trying to this guy was trying to dance with Tiller, so I was like, you do you think I'm not here for any trouble? And then the
yeah,
guy dropped his glove, which is a sign of you're going to duel
yeah,
over a pit of spikes.
yeah.
So we balanced on this balancing beam. Heimdord, Tiller, and Nari watched. Delilah and Brakosh were off exploring the castle at the time, so they
Right,
missed
yeah.
it.
There's a bit of stuff that we missed
Yeah, there's
here.
a bit of stuff that we missed.
There's the
Long
point
so
where we had to drown Brakosh in water to sober him up. While he was a bit
yes.
tipsy, he bumped into this woman who claimed to be his ex, who slapped him and ran off, and we were like, what was that about? But eventually, after some investigation, Delilah contacts some hooded eagles and gets more information about the upcoming mission. Brakosh and Delilah, while this is happening, go up to the top of the wizard tower. There's this invisible shithead, and he is contacting Killian Blackburn, the Grandmaster. I forget why. I wish Paul was here to explain.
I wish I remember why. But also at this point, whilst this is all happening with Josh White the Tenth dueling somebody to death, even though he really doesn't want to, he moved forward and he slipped and almost fell into the pit of spikes. He managed to somehow. I don't even remember how I managed to win this encounter. I must have
Uh,
just pulled the guy off the beam or something.
yeah, no, I think that's what happened.
And
Yeah,
he just went straight to the spikes. It's funny because I rolled a 2 and then had a bonus. Paul
yeah,
said if you rolled any lower, which would have been a nat 1, I would
yeah.
have just died. I would have fell in the pit of spikes, nothing.
With the sign of things to come.
This close
This
to
close.
death, and
Not the
I managed.
closest to death you've been,
No,
by the way.
I, I don't even remember if I got any
I'll talk.
closer to
No,
that. But
I will remember for you. Don't you?
yeah,
Don't you
but I
worry.
managed to win, and it was not a pleasant feeling for him because obviously he didn't really
Killing.
want to kill a noble guard or just a noble warrior because he couldn't see out of one eye.
Yeah, I mean, all that. Brakosh and Delilah, the invisible guy gets away eventually. We can't really get after him.
Yeah.
But we've got this table at our disposal that'll tell us the truth about anything we ask it and about anything within about 100 feet.
Mm.
So we. Fuck. There was a
So
name we were looking for specifically, but we asked about the true names of everyone, and Bjorn was one of the names. Heimdord wasn't one of the names. That's crazy. How did we miss that? I'll never know. But there was a lot of asking questions. Fucking I can't remember what it was that we
I
asked.
think we
But...
figured out that Walter was an enemy.
Right, yes, because we asked like where Walter was all this and like, oh, is Walter who's gonna betray us? Walter is. So we have to go tell the king that he's gonna kill
So
him.
at this point as well, look, the rest of the group catch on and we caught up to
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, so we run back down the wizard spire,
I
open
wrote
the
back to the
door.
bank.
Yeah, open the door. We're surrounded.
Yeah, we're
Oh
surrounded by
boy.
everybody in terms of the royal guard.
Including the king, who
King
arrest
and
us
Walter.
immediately. Because we are complicit in a conspiracy to kill the king, apparently. So
Yeah.
no, it wasn't one of the guards. It was Walter
So
Wyatt him fucking self.
yes, it was. Yeah.
He walked up to Brakosh and pulled out a letter telling us to assassinate the king, planted there by his ex earlier in the evening while he was tipsy. Oh no! We get sent to
we
death
got
row.
arrested. Yeah.
We got sent straight to fucking death row, which we are so close to the end of this campaign now.
We are very
Jesus.
close. Yeah. We are almost heading to the third.
I'm
Which,
gonna speedrun it. Like, Tilla doesn't want it to happen.
yeah.
Josh is like, ah! So
I was
we.
very much emotional at this point.
Oh, I was
'Cause
emotional too.
I genuinely called them all idiots. I can't even remember what I said. I gave
Yeah,
him a
you
really,
scream! You are all idiots!
yeah,
It was emotional. It was a
yeah,
good scream, honestly.
yeah.
But
It was.
we get sent to death row either way, and
Yeah.
that's how we end the session. There's a male and a female block. God forbid you're non-binary. You just get sent to hell, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
You're going straight to hell.
you're going straight to hell. And essentially, we're in this prison with a bunch of weirdos and Lucian, the guy who we had to leave behind. Oops, Josh asks Lucian, "What
So how's
are
your
you
life
doing?"
been?
And then Lucian replies,
Because
"You
I
guys
thought
left me."
I got very
No.
confused. I thought it was what's his name? Why have I forgotten his name? The unofficial member, the unofficial
Oh, Terrence.
Terrence. I thought it was Terrence. Not
No.
again, two cinema names. Thanks, Paul.
Terrence and Lucian? Okay.
Oh, I thought. Ignore me.
It's all good.
I'm
So,
late.
essentially, we have an unpleasant prison stay, but, there are hooded eagles in this camp, and there are blades in this camp, as well as
Two
beast
Goliaths as well.
and most importantly, two Goliaths, a brother and a sister who have been allowed to contact each other through letters. We devise a plan, and knowing of each other, well, we communicate through these people in, languages and whatnot. Brakosh kills a man, he elbow drops him off the side of the bed, which he was trying to,
Yeah.
watch Brakosh sleep. I don't really blame him. So he breaks his neck with an elbow drop and gets sent to the maximum security place, which kind of important. Unfortunately, Delilah sent the letter from the sister to the brother. It was sent in Elvish. The only other person who could read Elvish was Nari.
Yeah.
So thank God Nari learned
Prerequisite.
Elvish, otherwise we would have died.
Yeah.
Either way, whatever happens, happens. There's a lot of bullshit that goes around, but at the end of the day, Bjorn, there was a part where Heimdall managed to fucking convince the brother to listen to him by screaming in his language, "I am Bjorn the Blood Axe." We
Yeah.
can't speak that language.
We can't
We
speak
have
that
no idea
language.
what he's saying. So essentially, he intimidated. I persuaded. It all happened. We freed them. Prison break music happens.
Before that
and
as
we
well.
fight.
Before that,
Carry on.
Brakosh's dad and sister appear for a very short period. I can't remember what it was for.
Yeah.
But either way, it was kind of like this is what's going on sort of thing, like back in the capital and stuff like that. The Balans are attacking. I think that's what it was.
The Balans are attacking. Yeah, the Balans start their attack as soon as we're out the picture with their fucking airship.
Yeah, funny
So-
that.
That's crazy. It's like they
Yeah.
needed us out the way.
Yeah.
So we prison break, we riot, we go into the maximum security places, we free everyone.
We free.
Except that there are
Brakosh.
people. Yeah, we free Brakosh, and we look in the cells opposite him. There are cells marked "Do not open." The red.
Yeah, this is gonna come up a lot later.
These people are infected by a disease known as the red. It's relatively contained right now.
Yeah.
But it's the first hint. Also, we find one more cell with Hodark in it.
We found two cells. So there's one with Hodark. The other one had Scott Free. A character just named Scott Free. We looked into the cell. Nobody in there.
He'd gotten away.
He got away. Scott Free. And then we went up to basically like the warden's sort of area.
Really, really quick about Hodark though. We tried to get him out of his cell. The handle broke, and we were just like, "Bye, guys."
We were like, haha, lol, see you later.
Yeah, so we went to the warden's part.
Yeah.
You went. It was
we
you and
freed
Brakoff.
somebody else as well.
We went to the maximum security bit.
We freed Shaper Sifter. That's what happened as well.
Yes, we freed 3 people. It was
Brakosh. We tried to free Hodark.
no. It was no. Someone else. It was Jigen, It
And
was
Jigen, yes.
Jigen. There were only
Melanie?
two.
No, it
spots.
wasn't Melanie.
No, Melanie weren't there. I wouldn't say it was Kaif either, right? No, it wouldn't
No,
have been
it
Kaif.
wouldn't have been Kaith.
Well, whatever the case,
Anyway.
we freed Jigen and Delilah cried out, "Oh, Jigen!" And Shaper Sifter, we shouldn't have let him out. Turns out he's a Black Hands member. Hey, if you watched the previous episode of Dead Oasis, you may
He
remember a
appeared.
certain doppelganger called
Yeah.
Shay Sifter. This is him, and
Yeah.
we freed him. Oopsie daisy. We could have just not.
I tried to
Imagine-
stop him, but he transformed into a flying creature like a bat or something, and then
Yeah,
threw out like a little skylight.
That's when you and Brakosh, in an odd moment of teamwork, managed to go and disable this generator, which is getting rid of all of the magical energy.
We split into that team, and then we split up more because he destroyed the generator. I went and stopped the warden, I think.
Yeah, and you tried to stop Shaper Sifter.
From
You went to
escaping.
get our stuff as well, but
that-
he managed to get away,
Yeah.
which comes up later. Whatever the case, we've got our items, we've got our stuff. We get out of there, everyone following. Blades, eagles. We kill the Beastmasters because, they
The
rioted at the Blade.
bitches.
They killed one of the Blade members, which wasn't really that sad, but it mattered for Nathan.
It was a point of contention.
It was a point of contention. So it mattered for Nathan, so I included it.
Yeah.
So
And we basically just lit up the prison, basically.
Oh, totally, yeah. We
Because we
basically
destroyed a magic generator, and then a load of magic users were like, "Oh yeah, baby," and then they would.
Let's go, yeah. And we get out, and
We came
don't remember
across the
which order.
Goliaths.
Yeah, I don't remember which order this happened in, but yes, we came across Turok, who had come to stop us from escaping. We had freed his daughter and son. That's who the sister and brother were.
Yeah.
So he essentially, at the end of the day, we antagonized him. At the end of the day, he said, essentially, fair enough,
Yeah.
respect. We're even.
I mean,
I'll leave
I was
you alone.
this close to just being like, "Well, you killed my brother, so."
Yeah, I mean,
But
we're even. We're not. I'll let you guys fuck off. We also happen to run into. I don't know why this happened. For a time about this long, we ran into Alora and Rexenor. Do you remember
yes,
that?
I do remember this. Yeah, I didn't
It
realize it was Rexenor as well, but
No, it was Rexenor. I don't know if that's retcon now, but
yeah,
that was my
definitely Alora.
not my jurisdiction. Yeah, Alora for some time, for a short time, and then I guess they helped us they navigated us back to the capital, and we ran in there. We're all guns are blazing. We're ready to go.
Yeah, we're ready to
We're-
battle.
Yeah, we run in, we go through the dirt district, havoc everywhere. They're killing peasants. We're not having it. We beat these guys up, these Bilan forces. We
Yeah.
beat them up.
I don't know how, as well. We somehow between the Balan Castle escape and where we're at now, we picked up some silent bombs. So we were then nuking.
There were
some
silent
places.
bombs in the prison.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So we came in all guns and nuking. We bowled some silent bombs at some guards, and essentially we battled through them until we reached
Wyatt
the
family
Gold
household.
District. Yeah, the Wyatt family household and the Dark Star family household.
Because there was a very strong magical presence nearby. And,
Yeah.
when we realized that it was Joshua at the 10th house, he did not really want dark magic in his house. So
Yeah,
he went to go, and we all went in, and we were like, let's see what this is.
I know Celine had gotten back to the house and was guarding it from
Oh,
the
and
Bilan forces.
yeah, Celine kind of came to us and was like, okay, I can kind
Yeah,
of see what's going
came in
on
a bit clutch. They held Tiller for us while we got into the family Wyatt household. You got a sword or something and like a letter or something, I think.
So what happened was there was the magic. There was the guy in the tower, I think.
Oh
He
right, no,
reappeared. We killed him.
was-
I killed him in utter
Yeah.
brutality.
oh my bad. That happens like later.
That happens just a little bit before we go up the stairs. into the upper part of the house.
Yeah,
We then
we did
wander
just
in.
trip that guy and fucking break his neck, didn't we?
Yeah, no, I sliced his head off. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, no, you're
It's like
right. You did
in
do
utter
that.
act of brutality because he was pissed.
Also, you tried to break open your
Yeah,
parents' door,
it
and
was locked.
it was locked, and he rolled really poorly. But
Surprise!
but you essentially created your famous hook sword.
Yeah, I bent my sword a tiny bit.
Yeah, which gave birth to the hook sword, which does come in handy.
It comes handy later.
Later in combat and stuff. But we go up there and we find out.
Well, we find just before I know what you're gonna say. We found Walter,
yeah, we
and
found
he
Walter.
was in clearly. I don't remember what was going on. I don't know if he was lying on top of something.
He was
And floating in the air and experimenting, and there was another magical magician or something
No,
like that.
sorry, my bad. He was hooked up to the machine.
Or hooked up to the machine, and then he all of a sudden had magical powers.
Yeah, sapped from somewhere,
Sat
but
from somewhere, but we didn't know, so we killed him because he was obviously betrayed us and all of that, and
yeah, he was a bitch.
yeah, being a bitch. And then we looked to see what they were doing.
Yeah.
And we realized that they were experimenting with like magic cells and stuff like that. Josh thought it was an idea to see if he can do something about this because his family's got magic. So he did all of this. He almost died in the process of this.
We have to mention before that
I know, but that doesn't happen until I got knocked out. I didn't see it specifically. Yeah, I didn't see it specifically. So
I saw it, and then you took the sign. It was like, I need to do this for my family.
That's probably what should have happened. It didn't happen like that way.
Okay. Okay. No.
So what happened was I got hooked up to this machine. I tried to get as much power as absorb as much of it as I could. It was almost going into overload. Paul's returned. It's gone into overload, and I almost died. But what happened was I went unconscious thanks to a lightning strike.
Yes,
and
which
then
yes,
the Wyatt's will was we're calling it. What happened after this was everybody else saw that the Dreamstones were going, and they then saw that there was like some cover over something. They couldn't figure out what it was. They took the cover off, and it was the parents of Joshua White the 10th dead.
I would love to mention that they were freshly dead, and the only reason they were dead is because Delilah's plan to escape involved the dinner time call. If we'd done it earlier, we probably could have saved them.
We took a day too long.
I killed your parents, and you've never gotten back at me for it.
I never will, because he wouldn't know about it.
Thanks, bud.
But he was unconscious. He dreamed about the Dreamstones were wearing. He had a dream. He saw his parents and William. And that's when he realized that they were dead. Simple as. But at this point, even though he was not conscious, he has now become a fighting wizard with the abilities of lightning and all sorts of crazy shenanigans, because this was when we were experimenting at the time, and I finally got my wish of being at least part wizard.
Yeah, we started to multi-class and stuff, and so
yeah. And at this point,
hello.
Yep, you're here.
Hello.
And then at this point, the Balan family had pretty much taken over at this point.
And they surrounded the house,
And the rest of the group fought them off.
Yeah.
And
Delilah almost died. Dad almost died, and Delilah almost died. And this is about the time that, because I made a drawing about it, whenever Heimdall raged, his skin would get slightly darker.
Yeah.
His veins would get slightly blacker. Yeah. Not much to think about it at that point, but God held. We did the do, and it was essentially, oh, it's time. We got to go take on the Balans. I think that's when Brakosh went and had the conversation with his dad
Yeah,
about.
Brakosh went off while Josh was dying, pretty much, and had this
Yo,
conversation with his
yeah,
dad.
yeah, he went off while Josh was dying.
This
He
shows
forgot.
Brakosh is a dickhead. Like, he is a flat
Yes.
out. I hate using that word, but he is what I just said.
It's funny in
This
hindsight.
is
No,
this
it's
is tough.
really
So
not.
essentially, what happened was I discussed I discussed it with him that his family was blessed by the gods. Not
But the
really, but it's
devil.
basically what it was. Yeah, he had he. The story was Tiller was blessed because the Skyborn family was blessed by the
Hashtag
god of
Lewis.
light, and the god of light and this demon prince had a relationship millennia ago, and he had a power deep down where he would turn into a demon because his family bloodline was blessed by said uh, demon prince, and eventually he got the ability to turn into demon Dracosh, which
Drakosh. Oh, bye, Paul. Yeah, so he turns into Demon
Even
Brakosh.
Brakosh, which
However,
is
meanwhile, while this is happening, the rest of the group, we make our charge towards the ship.
at this point, Joshua the Tenth has like become conscious and is ready.
Oh, of course.
He is ready to murder.
Yeah, so
Like more
we
than he
take
already was.
we take on the Balan ship. There's guards and stuff. Heimdall decides to sit out the fight.
For a moment.
Odd,
Yeah.
odd. But essentially, Josh went on there, electrocuted a bitch.
Yeah.
Everyone else did some cool shit. I know Nari slayed, I slayed,
There were
uh,
moments where I killed both
Lord slayed.
Lord and Lady Balan.
I
That
was
was
getting
my
to that.
first big moment where,
Yeah,
especially for
in the
Lord Balan, because I learnt Shocking Grasp and I did enough just to get
yeah,
through his armor, and no matter what I would have done, it would have killed him. So I went absolutely insane.
yeah.
I just
So
held his
in
face. I just was like, ah!
yeah, in the culmination of Josh's first arc, he does the do, and he's the hero that he always wanted to be for now.
For now.
Uh, yes, and he manages to get the kill on Lord Balan by getting through his armor, and at the end of the day, after Heimdall was raging and stuff, he used Wyatt's will and managed to get a good shot on Lady
Lady,
Thingy and
yes.
electrocuted her to death.
Yeah,
And we
and she
won.
flew off the ship.
Yeah, you flew off the ship. We won. We're the heroes. Everybody celebrates, and they love us, I guess.
Yes.
We have a discussion with the king, in which also Turok was there, as the king promises to do better.
Because
Um,
he was on the ship, he got tortured and almost, I would have imagined, almost died. But I don't know if he did. But he definitely was in serious trouble at that point in time, and he
come on
was
now.
like, "Yeah, I think I should learn the error of my ways."
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah, and there's a little part before the end of this session because we decided that this was like the end of this campaign. There's a part at the end in our rooms. Delilah goes over to Heimdall privately. I think this was
yes, this was
straight up after what happened with the king. Heimdall, what the fuck was up with that? And he says something like, I've done some things in my past that I'm not really proud of. Not
He raged
specifying
as well.
anything,
He
by the
raged
way.
as well on the ship. He got
Yeah,
hit by accident and then he raged
yeah, he
again.
raged really easily, which foreshadowing. And he just says that he's done some things that he regrets. Those tell you about it when we get to the demon part,
Yeah.
because I don't even know if Paul has any explanation about the demons, so I've made up my own. But we get there, right? So yeah, and then we play "Life Is a Highway" because that's our official ending theme song.
Yes.
And we decide, great, we're gonna go have some drinks, and thus starts the in between this
Yeah.
campaign and the next campaign, where we get so incredibly hungover that it initiates a mini plot. where
Hangover, part Bosniak.
yeah.
Yeah.
So in this tiny, tiny mini arc, fucking, we all get hungover. I forget what happens to most people.
So we
Yeah,
robbed
go
a
for it.
dress. We robbed a wedding dress. I think Brakosh robbed some stuff as well.
Oh yeah,
Jewelry
he
and
kind of
stuff
what
got
like
happened?
that.
chained up to a
Oh yeah,
wall
he
or
was chained up. He was naked as well. I'm pretty sure.
Heimdall,
something. Yeah,
yeah, Heimdall got married to this woman.
Oh yes.
drunkenly.
A of a drug lord. Yeah, he got married drunkenly. Uh,
Well, your connection is
they
so dog
Yeah,
shit.
your
so
connection is very, very
where
bad.
I'm in my kitchen.
Ah,
I
right.
mean,
this video off.
right, I know that he got married to the wife of a drug lord.
Yeah, he got married to the wife of
Of a
a. They tried to steal a ring
Yes, that's what it was.
to
A wedding dress as well.
and yeah, wedding dress, and in the end, everyone couldn't figure out what had gone on.
Yeah.
So Ellie woke up or Delilah woke up in the church, trying to
yeah.
figure out what happened while people were staring at her, like, what?
The statue, the statue was
Church.
gone too.
The statue was gone.
Delilah then proceeds to lie to a holy
Um,
person.
Yeah.
Not the
yeah.
finest moment. But
Um,
like, yeah. Sorry, carry on.
on top of a tower with a wedding ring, and
God was on top of the tower. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just filling in for what's cut out of your
Braco,
speech.
Braco, uh, uh, up in the back of a jewelry store, semi-naked.
Right.
A jewelry store which we had visited earlier, by the way. This is a setup. This is like, this isn't in Milan. This is like a town somewhere like next
It's in
to it,
Bosnia.
right?
No, it's in Bosnia.
Sorry, yeah, it was somewhere in Bosniak, but yeah, you know, we weren't in. No, not the capital. It was near the capital. It wasn't quite the capital.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. But yeah, as is Paul cutting out as badly for you as he
Yes,
is for
he is
me?
cutting out very badly. I'm afraid.
Okay,
Paul.
to fill it in, Brakosh tried to steal some jewels, Delilah some statue. She defaced a church, and there was like a statue gone. Heimdall had married a drug lord's wife and was found at the top of a building.
Yeah.
I don't know. Josh might have banged someone. I don't
We
even
sold
know.
a wedding dress and a ring, and then I ended up
Yeah.
in the castle with Intilla's bed.
Oh fucking hell! We must have been at least near in the capital then. My
Yeah,
bad then.
we definitely
All
were in the
bad.
capital.
It,
Yes.
it wasn't.
Yep.
Right.
I don't know if you can hear us, Paul. Your
Under hit.
connection is very bad.
One word a minute.
But yeah, we realized that nobody knew what was going on in the entirety of. Well, I don't know what was everybody after Heimdall initially because he
Yeah,
was on
because
top of the tower.
yeah, it was.
And we managed to somehow. I can't even remember how we managed to get out of that scenario.
Yeah, me neither. Truthfully, I mean, we got taken in by the drug lord or whatever. Me and Heimdall did, and the rest of you came to help, with the
Oh
exception
yes, yeah.
of Ethan, who had managed to get himself into a bag of holding, and he'd forgotten everything.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
interesting.
so we're basically babysitting Nari, and you know, you came in, and we were having negotiations with the drug lord. You came in, thunderclap,
Yeah,
bang,
no, yeah.
everybody dies. We get slammed into the wall, and we're like, Josh, what the fuck are you doing?
Because Josh White the Tenth thought that they were being very hostile, and he
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
having it. So
No, and then Heimdall goes upstairs, and oh, lo and behold, it's the wife. Oh, you just killed my husband. At least you still love me, right? No. And then we leave.
yeah,
Joking. We leave the building. We find the statue somewhere. I don't remember how, but Nari and Delilah go to that temple, which happened to be the temple of the god of love.
yeah.
I'm just saying, foreshadowing. comes out later. Or Hypool.
There we go.
Yeah,
It's
and
being a pain for me, so I've had to join on my phone.
oh, fair enough.
That's fine.
How did we get the statue back for the
All right,
Temple
so
of Blood?
I remember everything. I've
Oh,
been
go
trying
for
to say. I've been trying to say it, but apparently Discord is being a bitch.
Okay, Paul's events. Do it.
Right, so starts off. Josh is into his bed. Brash is in the back of a jewelry store. Heimdall is on top of a roof, on top of this tower with a wedding ring, and no one can remember Nari.
Oh yeah, no one can
That's
remember
what
him.
it was. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Apart from Brakosh. Brakosh was the only one who
Because he
could
was the
remember him,
only
but
one who
he
had the
didn't
bag
know
of
that.
holding. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't know everyone else had
Oh,
forgotten.
it wasn't a bag of holding. He had a special
It,
box.
it was an
Box.
unassuming box which I stole
Oh.
from Reddit. Uh, but
Yeah,
anyway,
Reddit God.
yeah. So what happened was Nari, oh not Nari, Nari was in there because not only that, Nathan couldn't join the thing, so it was very convenient for why he couldn't turn up. But anyway,
Yeah.
Heimdall managed to get down off the tower, ended up getting chased by guards, and ends up in a drug den. Get back to that later.
Yeah.
Everyone else, Delilah was in the church. She managed to say, like, convince the priest to, like, I'll find the statue for you and find who's responsible.
Yeah, I said I was afflicted with some kind of curse.
Yeah. Then Josh managed to find Brakosh, who they both managed to meet up at some point. They managed to piece together that there was a wedding, and they managed to find each other outside this drug den, in which they find the wife, which was a really, 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 really old orc woman, hideous to look at, absolute hag. They found the statue inside the drug den house because it was a wedding gift to the wife. They managed to piece. It turns out, like, the whole time they were drunk. They got into so much mischief that the drug lord just looked at them and just, like, as just said, started trying to figure out if they should kill them or not. They find Terrence as well, who initiated the drinking, hanging upside down in his office, being tortured for information. I say tortured; he was just not given any alcohol. They managed to get out of it when Josh initiated a thunderbolt, killing the guy, impaling him on I think it was like
or something
Thunderwave,
like that.
yeah, Shockwave, something.
Yeah.
And
Some stupid thing.
impaling the drug lord on this mounted horned beast. I think it is what it was.
That's very funny.
Yeah. So with that, everyone managed to piece together, like, we were all here now, we're all good. And then Brakosh said, was like, hold on, isn't someone missing? Being a twat while he was doing it, so basically saying, like, pretending that everyone was here. But eventually, everyone pieced together, like, there's this box that makes you forget every time you don't look at it. So you can look at it, you know it's in there, but the moment you look away from it, you forget about it. Nari was stuck in this box, and he'd been stuck in that box for days. Well, not for days, for the whole day. So he completely forgot who he was. He managed to remember by drinking this potion that made him remember his entire life.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, that's how we remember everything, pretty much.
Well, I say his entire life, but it's for the most
the time that we forgot because we were so heinously drunk.
He remembered. He couldn't remember faces very well, but he remembered his house burning. He remembered his time spent with the Blades, the mercenary group he was trained by. He remembers being tortured by the Black Hand group, and he remembers his time with the party, which was the most important bit. Eventually, they decided that we're not going to do drugs again, and
Drink. It was drink.
it was drink and drugs.
Oh.
Remember
I
the
don't remember
special
that.
spice?
Ooh, that's a deep
Oh.
memory.
Yeah, there was a very special spice involved there, which is what I just called cocaine for some reason. So everyone remembered all this stuff. Everyone got going, and they started preparing to leave for. I'm assuming you've mentioned it because I missed a bit. The red.
Yeah, we mentioned the
Oh wait,
red
no, they got a
alert.
letter.
Well, we
They
got
got
a
a letter
letter.
from the
The Hooded Eagles.
Yeah. So, right, just really quick before the end of all this, like, we found a brothel during our fucking adventure while we couldn't remember anything. Brakosh decides, as the rest of us meet at Josh's house one last night before we take off tomorrow or whatever, he goes to the brothel and finds a woman who looks kind of like Tilla and sends it to Josh's house to act as if she had slept with him last night, opposed to Tilla and slap him around the face. What a glorious moment that was.
Why is all of his glorious moments are happening when it's at my expense?
Yeah, no, he
Fucking
did just bully
dickhead.
you for an entire 2 campaigns.
Because he had nothing else to go off of.
So yeah, and
Torturing you was his fun.
I don't know, Josh started to get some self-doubt at some point during there, and
At
you
this
know,
point,
yeah, so we Thing Hooded Eagles meet us here at this time. This was given to us during the feast with the king somehow. And yeah, so we essentially made way towards what we didn't know was about to be the most traumatic, horrible experience of our entire lives.
but one of
You
the
like
greatest stories, not the greatest story, probably
I'm.
in the entirety of our D&D sessions so far.
It is definitely my proudest moment as a DM. I am not gonna lie. It had its ups and downs, but ultimately the ending, it made me cry as well as everyone.
Really?
Dang.
Yeah, I was crying with laughter.
Spoilers. Anyway.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right. So
All right.
yeah.
So to start off, they go. The group goes towards this thing, and they cut through this town that had been corrupted by the Red Plague.
Whoa, that thing that was in Death Row.
Whoa.
They say the Red Plague, but really it was just called the Red. It was nice, simple, and yeah. Essentially, what it was is there was this blood curse, and it caused these trees to become alive, and it caused it to spread, and it was very dangerous. It also produced a fungus, and if you breathed in that fungus, it would corrupt your mind and basically turn you into a zombie ghoul thing. So they went to this town, and they ended up coming across a bunch of goblins who ended up who ended up taking over the entire city. They were going to, I think you guys were planning on like killing a bunch of the goblins.
Yeah.
Then you just saw like the sheer amount of them, and then you're like, "Fuck this, we're going." And then you ended up rushing out of it really quickly. Eventually, like you take a break, and you have a dream with the dream stones, and yeah, the dream, if you can remember, was the town of Grifton. It was a nice. I'm pretty sure it was this point.
Yes, it was.
It was,
Yeah. No, it's
it,
just remember Grifton.
yeah, it was a nice, peaceful dream where everyone was like some random civilian. It doesn't matter like that detail, but they were walking around doing their normal city life, and then eventually they hear some screaming, and people start turning red. Like that movie. So they start turning they start turning into ghouls. The trees around them start turning red. Everything's just oversaturated with red, which was a phrase that I kept saying throughout the entire campaign.
Yep.
They there was a huge like scream as a dark shadowy figure with like literally just black just runs in with a giant battle axe, ends up ripping apart a bunch of these ghouls, blood spilling everywhere towards like this grand tree that was in the middle of the forest or the middle of the city or the town, and everyone kept shouting, "It's the blood axe! It's the blood axe!" And at this point, no one knew what that was about, other than the fact that they read it in a book somewhere.
the blood axe, but
Yeah, other than the book they read, and
Was
the
that-
name I kept dropping.
yeah, I did mention that we asked the true name of everyone in that tower, and
Tower.
Heimdall didn't show, but Dions did.
I loved it. No one picked up. It was great. I know. No one picked up on that. I was so happy.
Of course you were.
You're all stupid.
You're the stupid idiot who almost dropped the secret early, you fucking douche.
Yeah. But anyway, so they're walking through, and they're just like, they end up getting killed by the blood axe, being ripped apart, and they wake up in like pools of like hot sweats, all having shared the same nightmare.
Sign of things to come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually, they made it to the camp. I think it was like Kilgore Hall. Kilgore Hill.
Gilgore Hill, yeah.
Named after a cyanide and happiness shop. I believe
Really?
that one was. Yeah.
Huh.
I always thought Kilgore from fucking Killer Instinct or whatever his fucking name is. That's probably
Oh, yeah.
Fulgore. No, never mind.
Yeah.
Cool, fair enough. Carry on.
It doesn't matter.
Hey, Bruce.
So yeah, I get names from random places. So
Hate names.
these hooded eagles are like oh yeah, we've got a plan. There's this evil baron. We're gonna rob him. Get him back for all the people he's killed, all the people he's tortured, all the people he's robbed. Like real Robin Hoody things. The one planning this whole thing was a hooded eagle called Melanie. She had a very troubled backstory regarding this baron. Her family was killed right in front of her because of orders that he made, and they planned to get back at him hard. For one thing, they need. Yeah, Melanie. Jigen basically said, "Okay, for first thing you need to do is get some blueprints." So, to the house, to his mansion. So, with a bit of training, with a bit of character side stuff, they did at camp some really interesting character moments that we're not going to go into.
Josh vocalized his, he doesn't believe in himself. Delilah cried a bunch because everything's falling down around us and all this. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they managed to get to this village. I think it was like Silver Pine or something like that.
Didn't we meet
that wasn't
somebody else
I-
first?
Did we meet Samir then or after?
No, you met Samir after.
Yeah, because Samir would have come on the quest with us.
Yeah.
Probably.
So what happened was the guys, you guys went in. These guys went into the town, and they were found like they were asking around for the architect. People figured out like, oh, he hangs around this dwarven bar.
Oh yes.
To get information of where he came from, they did a drinking contest with this dwarf.
It was Nari who took the
Nari.
contract.
It was Nari.
My
Nari got
boy.
absolutely hammered. He spent the entire session absolutely pissed drunk. Yeah, and he went in completely like out of his mind for the rest of the thing. At the same time, Heimdall went off and did his own thing. He found this petting zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Brakosh. He found this petting zoo which rescued animals found in the forest that was being cut down. And one of these animals was a bear cub. This bear cub he dubbed Chewy, and ends up stealing the bear from the thing. Ends up knocking out. Yeah, Brakosh stole a direwolf pup as well.
Oh, that's what it was. I was thinking about that the other day.
Which didn't go anywhere after that because the wolf.
It did.
I'm pretty. Oh yeah, the wolf. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We'll get to it in a bit. So he ended up causing huge fuss. Ends up getting guards chasing him, and he ends up getting on the wagon that they arrived to the town in. And ends up running away with guards going everywhere. This whole time, the drinking contest is going on, and they can just see him in the background, just running about the city, just going back and forth, but not in a Scooby-Doo chase scene.
Yeah.
They managed. They managed to get to the house of the architect to find him in a secret room, already dead, because the Baron had been trying to find him, and he didn't want to get. He didn't want to be a victim of the Baron.
Very minor thing. There was a small character moment. We've got to mention it. We've got to mention it. I promise to go get the fucking image. So we were sneaking in. And
oh yeah,
Delilah goes through the back door, and Josh dives through the front window, baby.
So I want to preface this. At this point in time, I don't. It's still dumb, no matter what it was. I made that decision because at the time I was playing too much Batman Arkham City, and I just thought it would be a funny idea to leap through the window. And then
no way.
Yeah. That was a dumb thing, and then it led to what happened for the rest of the Josh White attempt story for campaign 3.
Yeah, which your confidence kept going down. This was also during the point where it's like, what are you gonna do to us? Say the guard's already inside.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do to us? Your team, he's incompetent, and well, you're a woman. Delilah then proceeded to clobber 5 people on her own. In a fit of absolute not blood, but rage either way. And eventually...
solid JJ Justice League video. What about Wonder Woman? She doesn't have any real weaknesses. Yeah, but come on, guys.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that.
And then the whole time, I'm pretty sure Nari was just there, just drunkenly just trying to punch someone, but he just he was just basically running around with his arms swinging, just aimlessly, not even hitting a single thing.
We did sober him up at one point, didn't we? Because we had to make the wagon escape.
Yes.
Yeah, you sobered him up when Heimdall came back in when you escaped, but eventually you found.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, eventually you found the hidden room. You managed to find the blueprint, and you managed to escape. And
we were looking for.
Nari got sobered.
He died.
Yeah, he died. So the guys went running out at the village, being chased by not only the Baron's guards who were looking for the architect, but also the town guard as well, who were trying to get back their bear and wolf. They all hopped onto the cart, and while being chased, I can't remember exactly what happened. I think they crashed the cart, and it led to one of the scariest moments of this part of the campaign.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah,
where
Heimdall started to uncontrollably rage, and his action. No, that happened later, didn't it?
That happened later.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it happened at this point. He didn't. No.
It traumatized me.
It definitely happened later because we were looking for
Yeah, we were looking.
for something. Like we were sent on a
Oh
mission
wait, no,
by
you
Jagan.
were looking for weapons at that point. Ah, no.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
that is
I
pretty
didn't
much what
pass.
happened
No,
next
we
anyway.
managed to hop onto it and we shot arrows and stuff and eventually managed to get the fuck out of there, from what I remember.
Oh yeah,
So I
that was
did the whole James Bond bit where I walked forward,
Yeah.
bang.
yeah.
The least Bond fan does the most Bond thing.
I thought you'd find it cool.
I mean, it definitely was cool.
Yeah.
I just wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Which at this point I also got a Wonder Fireball, so that was a perfect opportunity to like do something like that. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Carry on.
Anyway.
So yeah, I think if the crash didn't happen then, no, it happened when it was weapons. They managed to get back to the town and the hill where the Hooded Eagles were, and the guys ended up being told was like, oh, we've got some injuries happening. There's some traps. Someone's let some traps towards the bottom of the hill in the woods, just right next to the clearing, because the whole hill was surrounded by woods on all ends. And it turns out like these traps were set, and they wanted it. The Hooded Eagles wanted to figure out why they were there. Group ended up going in there, and they find this I think 14-year-old girl called
Something like
Samir.
that. Who we
who
short called Sam.
Yeah, called Sam. Yeah, her name's Samir. Everyone called her Sam, and she was basically living there for like on her own for the past 2 years, because the town she lived in was ransacked by the Baron.
Yeah.
What ended up happening is she became quick friends with the group and became a part of the group in Seoul. Everyone
She really
fell in
was
love.
like a member. Like she really was. Like Terrence jokingly was the sixth member. Sam actually was the sixth member.
Yeah.
Yeah. She basically had been living in the woods, and she had like a pet squirrel which she ended up she for some reason could talk to and understand. And she was obsessed with traps. She'd been living in this woods for years, so she was competent to survive on her own, and she was reluctant to join the group and follow them back up the hill. But essentially, that's what she did, and led to so many funny moments where she would end up like doing like little traps to piss off like Brakosh.
Yeah, she also did the little obstacle course with us, and there was like a 3-way tie between like me, her, and someone else.
I think it was
Brakosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you, and Sam.
Yes.
And the most athletic man there did really badly, as per fucking usual.
Josh's pathetic arc was really poignant here.
Yeah, it was very poignant here.
Yeah. And Heimdall at this point had a go at a chef that was cooking.
Oh yeah, that was very funny.
Oh yeah, because there was a mole.
The de facto chef.
Oh yeah, there was a mole in the Hooded
There
Eagles.
was a mole.
Also at that point, the Hooded Eagles, Melanie and Cheekan had found out that there was a mole in the group, and everyone suspected the chef.
Mm-hmm.
And however, it turned out to be the messenger that kept like giving them gave them the letter to go to this hill in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an Aarakocra, and I can't even remember what his name was.
Yes, it was an Aarakocra. I can't remember his name either. But
yeah. But I don't think he got found out yet.
No. We I think that was a point right before the actual like big thing where like we suspected him, and he tried to make it about race. Like, you already suspected me because I'm the only Aarakocra here.
Yeah. You
I went off on it.
Suspect him, and he had a go at you, and you had a go at him back.
Yeah, it was fucking like, because Delilah's black and she's also an elf.
Yeah.
Let's
I
start a race war.
I just like playing Karens.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
but no. So what ended up happening? Oh yeah, did you mention Karen Karenson in the prison?
Oh, that's who it
Oh,
was. Yeah.
we glossed. Wait,
Yeah, we
no,
glossed over
there
that.
was
Yeah.
3 people who we let out of the cages right at the end, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was in the cages. There was Hodark, Scott Free, and
Hodark, stop being
and Karen.
Blackhawk.
Oh yeah,
Oh
we
yeah,
let her out. Yeah.
I remember there being the werewolf. I thought that was Karen Karenson, but
no, that was someone else. Um, yeah, it was a bunch of. Anyway, let's go back to the current thing.
yeah,
And so what ended up happening was a few days later, they were like, "Oh yeah, we need to go get some supplies. We've got all our plans ready. We've got all our things. We just need some weapons for the Hooded Eagles for when we go to attack the Baron." So they go to this this point where they can like this truck that they go to ambush to collect some weapons. It's transporting weapons, and their ambush turned into them being ambushed. What ended up happening is they go. I think you guys stole the cart, rode it into the woods some more.
Mm.
guys, just really quick. Do you mind pausing for just a second? I
Yeah,
need
we
to go
can.
check something.
Okay.
You can't do this moment without me. I need this.
We'll talk about some previous things that you might have missed, but no. Throughout the entire throughout the entire thing, there was like many points where it introduced like foreshadowing. I'm very, very good at foreshadowing,
Yes.
and then forgetting all about the foreshadowing, and until someone reminds me, it's like, wait, what does this thing for? It's like, oh yeah, Cool.
Oh. Oops. Yeah, there
I'm
was a
great.
lot of that. Yeah. Yeah. Not much happened, but it's obviously the big moment, and it was, you know, to say it was actually terrifying, mainly because of my ability or lack thereof. Really coming home here was very much at play, very hard. No matter what. Um, the only other thing that we really haven't mentioned in terms of gameplay, if I was like, obviously the two red knights in this case, one being me, absolutely shit at everything he tries to achieve, and then there's Nari, who just succeeded everything. Like,
Yeah, that was really funny. Josh just kept failing every single dice roll, and Nari was just good off the bat and stayed good throughout the
yeah,
entire.
Yeah. So what's our point right now?
we
Where are
Oh,
we
we
at?
genuinely
we were
have
waiting for you.
yeah.
Okay.
So what ended up happening is they end up getting on the cart of weapons. They end up being chased with men on horses. So they manage to take over the wagon, and Heimdall gets hurt badly in the process when thing sort of crashes. He ends up going full berserker.
Yeah,
Uh,
he went absolutely insane, and it led to one of the scariest moments because we ran back into the forest. It was
ran
me
into
and Nari. We were
ran
trying
into the
to escape.
forest.
Me and
There
Nari tried to
was
escape. What did you
yeah.
do?
Yeah, I was there too.
You
It
climbed up
traumatized
the
me.
trees.
Yeah, yeah. So,
You climbed the tree.
yeah, I climbed up the fucking trees and was like scared for my goddamn life because our friend Heimdall had looked at us with the devil's own glare.
Yeah,
He
and
completely freaked out. He was screaming. He was ripping apart the guys who was chasing them, and
Yeah.
these guys ran into like a foggy forest. They ended up getting lost at some point. All they could hear was just Heimdall screaming, and he was running through the forest trying to find someone. Ends
yeah,
up
fine.
he
I
couldn't
ended up
find anyone.
failing a stealth roll because, of course, I did, and Yeah, we then
Oh, yeah, that was
started
it.
getting chased.
Yeah,
Which
you
is
end up
why
getting
I
chased.
say it was traumatizing because it was, it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, you are you are being chased by this like 8-foot Goliath who is
Uh,
just the angriest individual like ever.
Thanks.
Good
he,
luck.
in the end, I'm pretty sure Nari had to immobilize him, had to tie him up.
He
Used
whipped.
the whip.
He tied him up with a
He whipped
whip.
him.
Yeah.
He whipped.
Nari's trusty whip, which comes in handy all of the time.
Yeah.
Yes, and
He got this
Yeah.
at the
oh
end
my
of
goodness.
the prison. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did. He got the whip at the end of the prison.
And he he managed to get Heimdall tied down. They had to roll like so many strength rolls just to keep him down.
Yeah.
And
This is Nathan, so yes, he did very good.
in the
Course.
end, when he like came to, he didn't remember a single thing,
Yeah.
and he was just they ended up getting back, and I was just thinking,
So
what the hell?
yeah,
Everyone was
Why is everybody
just,
so
what the
downbeat?
hell?
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
because he was like, "Oi, Nari, what's happening with Delilah?" Because she wouldn't speak to him, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually everything got back to normal, and normal. They got back to the Hooded Eagle's place, and it turns out Samir was like training the dog, the direwolf pup,
Chewy,
and
yeah.
and Chewy, and it caused like some really adorable
I'm
moments.
pretty sure Brakos changed his own thing because he wasn't oh, as in Garrick wasn't available, so he just did it.
Yeah, he was fucking around with his dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he fucking around. If I remember correctly, the dog, he ended up doing something with the dog that ended up setting it. Ends up getting attacked by said dog,
Yeah.
and the
He
dog.
got attacked in the
No,
leg or
but
something like that.
no, what? Yeah, it was part of like what happened was he tried to get the dog to rob food off of people's plates at the fucking dinner place. The
That was
dog
it.
ended up robbing an onion. We spent, and I fuck you not, 25 minutes getting the onion out of the dog's mouth until Amal yelled, "Fucking hell, nobody cares."
Yeah. Yes, he
Like,
did.
it was, yeah, so that was a moment. But yeah, I
Oh
think
god.
like the final bit before we actually got on the airship or whatever. Yeah, because the Hooded Eagles commandeered the airship
Yeah.
at the end of the Bilam
The
fight.
Pavan fight, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to use that to get to the place and do the do.
Yeah. So after some more cooking fest, I think there was a cooking contest at this point because
We mentioned about Heimdall like talking about the chef, yeah.
Yeah,
Heimdall and the chef ended up like, you, how dare you upstage me? I demand a cooking contest, and this
yeah,
and then they ended up like doing a cooking contest. They ended up fighting to the death, I should say, with pastries and what have you.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful 20 minutes.
yeah.
Way better than what we
I,
had
re-
just before.
I remember when the food was served. Like I only remember this now because you mentioned. I remember Heimdall just kind of out of nowhere saying to Delilah, like, maybe you should start trying to be the leader soon."
Oh,
Oh!
Oh. Ah.
Ah!
Yeah.
Shut up!
Yeah.
Why are you gonna leave? Yes.
uh, and long story short, everyone rests up, everyone levels up at some point, and
A lot of points.
yeah, I think you guys are like level 6 at this point.
Level
No
6
idea.
sounds about right.
So you all get onto the ship after like thing. You all prepare for the thing. At this point, I think you figured out that the Aarakocra was the mole. He ends up
Yes.
flying off his stuff.
Yeah.
Then you all land, and you go. You wait for nightfall, and uh, one group goes through like the back garden of the mansion, and another group goes through the underground.
And I went through the main force.
Yeah.
And you went to cause a distraction in the city.
with your fireball wand. Heimdall, uncharacteristically, going the sneaky route underneath. Oh, I wonder why that is.
So everything goes tits up. The Aarakocra spills the beans, and the whole place, the whole mansion, is swarmed with guards. The Baron isn't even there, and
Yeah,
Sifter.
there's a fake one.
It
Yeah.
was Shaper
Yeah.
Sifter.
it was Shaper Sifter.
Who
The-
also, I don't know if we've mentioned this. Shaper
He's a
Sifter
doppelganger.
was, well, there's that, but he was also the main enemy of Brakosh.
Yeah, and Brakos
was
wasn't there that
And
session.
Garrick wasn't there that session, so he missed
Well,
out.
he was. He attacked him, but he didn't get the final blow because Shay just fucked off.
Well, he attacked him, but he didn't realise it was him who
I-
he was attacking.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
get to the effing off bit in a minute, but because that comes on a little bit later, I believe. So what ends up happening is they end up going well ahead with their plan anyway.
We had to F off. That's what happened here. Sorry. Yeah.
They end up dropping this safe into the underground like sewer system, and they end up stealing bags and bags full of gold and coin. Josh at this point was still causing a distraction, and not only was the Baron's forces in the area, his old Bilan knights were there as well, and he had a generally really cool moment as well on the.
The Bilan Knights.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
because he recognised a bunch of them.
Right. No. Can I just right
They were the Bland Fighters Guild.
Sorry,
He was.
Yeah. What? Why would Josh recognize the Bland Fighters Guild?
Because I was part of the Balan Fighting Guild.
Which is why he was in Baronwood, because they were right next to each other.
You're with the Skyborns.
They were not always enemies.
Always, yeah. It was just where I was situated at the time.
God, no, this is just lore that I wasn't privy to.
He was there at the time. Obviously he was born in the capital, and he went around, and he ended up in Balan, and then he was told to go and investigate the zombie outbreak.
Because William was in Balan for it's not William Walter. No, not Walter. Wallace.
This is a common confusion for everyone when they kept saying William Walter Wallace, not knowing who was who.
Yeah. So what?
Even he didn't know.
Walter Wallace was with the Balans, and that's why he decided with them. Okay, all good. Yeah, I've sorted out in my head now.
And then he realised, because obviously Wyatt, or Josh White the 10th, is very much enemies with them now. He recognised them, and he didn't care. He just killed them.
The moment was like they were actually having a fight on top of a moving prisoner transport, because a bunch of the hooded eagles got put into this like
Sam
cage
did as well. Yeah, Sam
did as well, because Sam was there.
Yeah.
So Josh ended up rushing on top of the prison thing, standing on the cages, having a fight while it's in full motion.
Yeah.
Having this really emotional conversation with like one of the other knights that he was fighting with like not too long before. Yeah. And it was one of your best moments, I will say, Josh.
Yeah. Top Josh moments.
It's one I forget about a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, and you end up kicking the guy you were fighting off, and then the other guy who was driving the thing, you end up killing. Yeah, you end up killing, and then you just managed to rescue Sam and a whole bunch of hooded eagles. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
What happens later, though?
Eventually, the Balan fighting forces, they were in cohorts with the Baron then.
Yeah.
No, it was just the Fighters Guild.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
The Fighters Guild, they ended up losing.
Yeah, they lost
their monarchs, so they became mercenaries.
Oh, okay, makes sense. Carry on.
I'm only saying this now for all the viewers. I do apologise if you could hear what is a hairdryer in my in the hall.
I apologize to all of our viewers that you've had to watch a fucking 4 hour long video.
We have been recording for 2 hours and 43 minutes.
Yeah, near enough.
Yeah.
Right. So we, after Josh does all the cool shit, we have to fuck off with the gold after committing what is essentially a terrorist attack.
Oh,
Because
that didn't just happen. Yeah, that only just happened. What happened was as they were leaving the tunnels with the gold, Melanie said, "Oh yeah, I've left a little surprise for that son of a bitch Baron."
Oh yeah.
And basically, it's revealed that a humongous silent bomb, like one that's 4 times the size of a normal silent bomb, was placed under the building, and it was set off just after they left. And I think Heimdall got a little bit damaged by this bomb, I believe, and then immediately after, as they were walking back to the camp, the makeshift camp and the ship, they got attacked by Shay Pasifta.
yeah, for the second time, we couldn't just get away from that guy, and thus initiated the conversation where Heimdall begged him not to attack us. All of us like, what the fuck? Like,
I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, Heimdall normally the one who's really into the fighting.
Actually, he was trying to be more diplomatic. Yeah, it was because of this. Yeah, Heimdall previously into the fighting, as you'll see.
And so what ended up happening, I'm sure Josh won't mind if he's not here for this.
No, of course.
So he ended up revealing like his darker side when he got attacked by Shay, and instead of being a mindless rage machine, he ended up laughing when he got a thing in like this demonic possessed voice.
Yeah, can I really quick just the full details on the whole thing? Because I tried to stop it. I tried to go up to Shay and tell him to fuck off. Well, I punched him in his face. He just aimed past me and shot Heimdall. And Heimdall got hit by this, and he was knelt over uncharacteristically, and you know he started crying, which
very uncharacteristic.
That was the immediate moment where everything was like, oh no. He started crying as he, his skin turned completely black this time. And you're right, he started laughing as he got up and he pulled the fucking thing out. He starts laughing, and the trees around us, the leaves start turning red.
Yep.
And we're all like, what the fuck is going on? Look, because he yells out in like a demonic or whatever. Delilah could understand it because Jigen taught it to her. Just fucking like some really intimidating bullshit. I don't remember what it was.
And then it ended with "I'm beyond the blood axe" or something.
Yeah.
I'm beyond the blood axe.
And
it
was like, "I'm beyond the blood axe. I will rip you to pieces," and something like that. And Shay, understanding the significance of that line, basically was like, "Oh crap! I've got to get the hell out of it."
We had the miniature moment where he walked past Delilah and said, "Some friend, huh?" Right to her face, and then I think he threatened Shay, and he fucked off into the forest, making everything red. Delilah just said to Shay, like, "Can we do this some other time?" And he was like,
"Yes."
Yeah. The funny thing as well at the time, this isn't privy to the actual what we were doing. I decided in our Discord, when we had the ability to share music in Discord and not have a real big problem, I put on, if you know your music, video game music specifically, Bowser's Fury, it's not long come out. I put on the song A Sign of Disaster, and it is one of the most one of the most intense tracks I've heard in a long time. It's funny, Amel hates it, but I think it suited the theme
worked well,
perfectly. And the fact that the song was called "A Sign of Disaster" is only something I discovered really recently.
Yeah,
I was like, holy shit! Like, it was such a fucking good moment, and we were
but
all
yeah,
fucking shitting
we were
ourselves.
terrified. We ran immediately, no hesitation. We tried to fuck off there
Yeah,
as like, the red leaves started to catch up to us, and the vines started to try grab us and wrap round us as we were trying to escape. And we hear an echoing, booming voice throughout the forest of beyond the blood axe taunting us. Calling us weak, calling us feeble, one by one, individually calling us out for our awful weaknesses
yeah.
as we eventually
Escape.
escape
Yeah,
back to the ship where we've figured out most of the hooded eagles that died in this awful operation of
A
Melanie's.
lot of
yeah. It was
For
a
awful.
lot of them were saved by Josh. Well,
yeah,
like,
no, most of the remaining cast was saved by Josh. So good one, dude.
Yeah,
But yeah, that was uh
it was
yeah.
one of the most intense sessions. I don't even think we could get to that level of tension like ever again. And if we do, it's a fucking testament of
oh
how
yeah.
good it will be.
I am going to try. I'll be right back. I've got to let Harvey back into the house, but you can carry on. It's all
Okay.
good.
Yeah. So immediately after that, they end up getting back on the ship with whatever remains of the survivors. A bunch of them are already planning on meeting them back at the hill.
Yeah.
And it ends up um, Jegan, Melanie, all the major ones are still alive, and Sam is absolutely
Traumatized
traumatized.
because
But
she got very attached to Time Lord.
in the
And
short time they
in
knew
the
each other,
short time that they knew each other, it was very much a case of like a friend had died or somebody had passed away sort of thing, which was not unusual for her either.
yeah.
In terms of like her backstory, I don't think she had any like immediate family apart from like a nan or something. But I think she
No,
died as
no
well.
immediate family.
Oh right, okay.
No
So
immediate family.
yeah, in her case, it was like family had died. And it obviously, I mean, it had an effect on a lot of us, but in very, very different ways. But in my case, at this point, even though I knew that, I guess, like everything happening, um, like with his depression of just realizing he's utter shit,
To
um,
put it into
he,
context, essentially Heimdall was the rock of the group,
yeah,
and for
he
him to
was,
just go missing, for
yeah,
him to do this, the
to
reveal
basically
killed him.
die, yeah,
And
which
I was so happy with that.
yeah, we were all very much affected by this major event of, yeah, your main guy has been corrupted and is probably not coming back. Definitely took a toll on the whole group in
Yeah.
different ways. But we all, I don't know what happened after that. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is Silver
remember.
City.
After that, the guys went off, and Delilah and Melanie and Jigen had a huge
Huge
argument.
argument. That's what it was.
Well, just one thing that we forgot on the airship to the place, Delilah and Heimdall had an argument because he was telling tales of all these great things, and Delilah was like, "Okay, where's the part where you turn on your teammates?"
Oh
That
yeah,
was a
that
massive
as well.
argument. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that
no,
was
the
before.
massive argument with the Hooded Eagles because Amel between sessions had just sort of pointed out to me, "Do you not understand that it's basically become a terrorist organization?" I was like,
Because one woman's anger has basically just ended up turning a group of Robin
"Noble
Hood type
people."
figures
Yeah.
into into a thing, and in the end, Delilah and the rest of the group end like falling out with them, ends up splitting off, doing their own thing. I think they went to find you. I can't remember exactly what it was, but you went to go find some sort of help to try and see if you can get into the Red to rescue Heimdall, wasn't it?
we'd learned about forces that were like trying to stop the Red, and now that we knew who was essentially the center of it, we thought we could ask them to help. So we went to a village and past that village because we're wanted now for blowing up a fucking city. We got a new wanted poster. Della's not so happy about this one for some reason.
It was only wanted by the Baron, but the actual capital didn't care. It was,
There's still a wanted poster, and then we get to the people fighting the Red, and who do we find there?
Yusuf.
Oh,
Aldavine.
you mean the Romel character?
Yeah, I think
Who
you
will
guys
be
had met him
reoccurring.
once before
Yes,
in
we
the
did,
capital.
yes.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, yes, you did. Just before you left, basically saying like, "Oh, he's there helping push back the Red," because the clerics, their fire magic,
yes.
because their god.
We forgot something.
What's
Yeah,
that?
no, we
Alora.
learned that from Alora, didn't we? Yeah,
Yeah.
because Alora and Heimdall had a conversation about settling down after Heimdall was retired.
To make it
Ah!
more emotionally.
But yeah, that's where we learned it from. So yeah, we found the Yusuf Aldavine, who, as they keep talking about his father, but we know nothing about him. So we don't
And his
have.
mother. Like, your mother would kill me if anything happened to you.
Yeah, man, I sure hope there's no big secrets about Afnik hiding behind those lines. Because like from here there isn't too many more like emotional moments, are there? Like, because we're so close to the end now. Thank fucking God.
Well, apart from the end.
The only emotional bit now is the end.
Yeah.
But what ended up happening is they end up bumping into Yusuf. They end up getting attacked by the Red Ghouls. They end up finding on one of the Red Ghouls who was supposedly an explorer, trying to get through it, saying like, "Oh, there are other people, this group, this city that are trying to find a cure," and they find this map on him leading to their this location that they don't know much of. It's just a location supposedly got a cure. I think is what it was, and they find it's under the mountain. They previously crossed. They end up going towards the mountain, and along the way they get ambushed once again by Shay Pasifta.
Yeah, this was the.
Because this is the second time, because Yusuf was taking the piss out of Nari because he couldn't swim past one of the fucking rivers that we were going across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at this point as well, who was fighting? It was me.
Nari and Yusuf were sitting in the background.
It was
just
me,
basically
Brakosh, and Delilah were fighting Shapeshifter.
Yeah, and and then fucking Yusuf and Nari decided to have a fucking picnic.
Yeah.
I almost died. I got turned into a fucking chihuahua.
You did?
Yeah, we all got changed into
in my only failing wisdom save of the whole fucking thing.
You turned into a chihuahua.
Yeah.
Lame.
Yeah.
Well, you failed, therefore you deal with the consequences. So what ended up happening was the whole group ended up killing Shapeshifter.
Yeah.
And with that, they end up finding this location underground.
After a lot of exploring.
There was this huge door. With muzzle, they managed to open it, and eventually they found themselves in a maze. Miraculously, I purposely didn't show them the maze so they couldn't solve it. But miraculously, they found the shortest route throughout the entire thing, getting straight to the end with minimal effort.
We forgot one major character.
Yeah.
Harvey at this point returned with a new character of Rizwin.
Rizwin, yes. The artificer looking for boxes. They happen to be going the same route as us, so of course, as we do, we just let anyone tag along nowadays. Yeah, they tagged along. Yeah, and we found the shortest way through the maze on accident, and
Yeah.
the final character defining moment for Brakosh happened where he, knowing that the puzzle had a vat of acid, looked at Josh, who was the one to correctly point this out, I believe. And no, it was Harvey. Harvey knew the entire puzzle because you got it from a movie. He decides to look at Josh and say, like, "Hey, Josh," or something, and stick his entire arm in the vat of
Basically,
acid.
the bottom of the vat of acid was key, and they had to empty this vat of acid without in some sort of way, and he just decided to stick his hand in there, try to grab it, and ends up
You knew it
losing
was
his hand.
acid already, yeah.
Knew it
One
was
of the
acid.
most.
Yeah, he outsmarted the DM for the last time, but you know, regardless of all that, we essentially fought that mechanical ball from the dream.
Whoa!
Whoa,
Yeah.
foreshadowing to such a minor event.
In
I know.
far in the future.
And then Josh got fucking petrified.
Yes, he failed a
I
saving throw
petrified
like he
stone,
normally
didn't
does.
I?
Yeah, petrified 2 stone, yeah.
Yeah, and then I got put in
Yeah,
a bag of holding.
he got stuck in a bag of
That,
holding.
that could have fucking killed him, by the way.
I'm aware. Except he was stone, he doesn't need to breathe.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, yeah.
So what ended up happening is they ended up finding out that the maze was actually a test for like the super smart group of artificers, and
Or the quaint dwarven village on who you ask.
yes, and it turns out they had a cure for the oh yeah, it's quite dwarven village.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
they ended up
got it. Yes, they had the cure to petrification, but they didn't give it to us until we'd already sent Brakosh off to get his repair arm. You want to know what the final goodbye looked like between Delilah and Brakosh, who had been
I'm getting my arm now. Fuck off.
Yeah.
That was me.
friends? Yeah, no, he was like, "Oh, I suppose this is it," and then Delilah turns like, "Brakosh, you are a cunt. You're a bigger cunt than me, and I have a cunt. I guess I'll be seeing you around." I think that's how it went.
Yeah,
Don't
pretty
get
much.
demonetized, Josh.
I'm not
yeah,
making any money off this anyway, so
yeah.
can't
So
get demonetized.
he fucks off.
Hey, if anyone gets any money off this, it should be me. I'm a fucking great dear.
Okay, Mister, I don't know how the fucking attack
yeah,
action works.
or anything in terms of spells or anything.
How does sleep work? But yeah, not much happens really. Like we
got
go,
some
we
new
try to find
weapons.
information. Yeah.
Get some information. You find out that there's this. The whole thing started from a lighthouse,
Oh,
Yeah.
and you were given some magical gear, including a talking horse,
A
a
two-fire
talking mechanic horse. Oh wait, no, that was towards the end. Yeah, sorry, I
yeah.
apologize.
There was
Yeah.
one thing.
Some flying boots.
One
massive
thing.
thing.
And Rizwan got to explore her backstory a little bit by uncovering a secret box hidden in a statue, and ended up getting a little bit into trouble because the statue belonged to a lesser god. Who
Oh yeah,
was-
yeah. There was a bunch of lesser gods, and one happened to resonate with Delilah. Huh. I wonder if
Yes.
that's going to come up later. The main thing is that we went to this library dude, this place, who had information on all of us, of basically all of history of existence. To my
Even
knowledge,
Bosniak, yes.
all of like the people of note. There was
yeah,
there was a
people know-
library of all these people, and the group had time to look at a few of the books. And one of the books they looked at. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
good?
frozen.
No, you're
No,
okay.
you're good. You're good
Okay.
on us.
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
good on us.
One of yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So, one of these books. Let me just preface this by saying that Nari's last name has been Young this entire time, named so by Kai Young, leader of the Blades. Carry
But
on,
it's
Paul.
actually Stillman, name which is the family name of Terence Stillman,
And
We
and
found out.
I wanted
the
to...
first character they ever met.
Yeah.
Well, first named character they ever met.
I want to stress that when you said Stillman, I knew immediately. It took a while for everybody to catch on, but once they did, we were all like, "Holy fuck!"
And,
Yeah.
and Nari had like this existential thing, but it turns out his mother was this queen fighter of Berenwood, very powerful thing, and his sister went missing the same night that Nari went missing.
I wonder if that comes up later.
I wonder. I
Oh
wonder.
my god.
Even canon, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
yes,
but
because
like,
they were still there. You were both still there.
which is where the sword came from for Nari, because like Terrence said that like, oh, you know, when we met him all the way back in campaign 2, it's like that sword. It used to belong to my wife.
No,
And
you
it's
can
like,
keep
oh,
it.
Yeah, you can keep it. I feel like
You've made more use out of it.
yeah, and I don't know. Maybe that should have tipped us off to something. But yes, it turns out Nari's dad is Terrence,
Yeah.
and Nari's done a good job to not become an alcoholic so far.
Yeah,
There's
it's not
also
hereditary.
yeah. Also, there was we learned how the dream stones work as well. Where there are right, if I remember this correctly, there are stones for pleasant dreams, and there are stones for viewing the path. There are stones that embody both of these things and instead show you what you need to see. Is that how it works, Paul?
Close enough. It was
What
more.
was it?
There was specific dream stones. There was ones for like the past, present, future. But
Oh.
these ones are all of them, and they can also be connected to like the spirits of the dead as well. That have
Jesus.
yeah.
How
So
I got
these
to
are
Terrence.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
That's it.
and you guys found them in the cave, in a
Yeah.
spidery cave.
Eh? God, those goblins must have really ransacked this place. To like, because we need to like, we're so close to finishing now. That was a massive revelation.
Yes, it was
And
the
then
biggest revelation, apart from Bjorn.
yeah, so then we fucking we needed the gear and we needed to go get those people in the lighthouse. So we did that. That's the thing that we did. I think
got
we used
some
mechanical horse.
We
What
had
happened-
some rocket shoes.
What
Yeah.
they had some winged boots.
Wing boots.
What
Yeah.
happened? What happened to the lighthouses? They get attacked. They get attacked by demons, and they find out that the warlock that used to live there summoned a demon for the Grand Master to help build an army. And what ends up happening is the demon ends up betraying the warlock, and ends up running loose on a nearby village, which just so happened to be Grifton. I was about to say Berenwood.
Cool.
Could you imagine?
So it started infecting the populace, and the king ends up sending a bunch of mercenaries to stop it. But the only one to end up getting anywhere near it was Bjorn the Blood Axe. Bjorn ended up killing everyone, and because of the amount of blood that ended up getting onto him, the curse and the demon ended up possessing him, and all the blood from the nearby victims ended up going into like the giant tree in the center of the town, and ends up causing like this plague in the nearby area that's slowly spreading and gets increasingly faster at spreading.
That feels like such a knowledge gap. I didn't know where the origin of the red was.
It was explained.
Yeah,
It
but
was explained, but I don't think it got
been
explained
taking a
again.
leap.
You might have.
Yeah, but like, yeah, okay, right, that makes sense to me. It's close enough to what I suspected happened anyway. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
okay, cool.
we got ready.
We had to go back. Yeah.
And not only that, you also found a book with rituals, and with the help of of some artificers back in the Silver City, which was the dwarven.
Yeah, the quaint dwarven village.
Quaint
the
dwarven
silver fucking city.
Yeah, the artificer city.
they end up figuring out the cure, potential cure for not only the Red Plague, but also a way to exorcise the demon from Bjorn or Heimdall. These guys refused to call him Bjorn. It was very funny.
I mean, Delilah did refuse to call him Bjorn. That's not his name. Delilah doesn't know a fucking Bjorn. She knows a Heimdall.
Yeah.
It was very clear that everyone was emotionally attached to the character. It was great. I think Amar did a great job with that.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Moving on, they end up getting a bunch of bunch more fuel for their boots because the boots need fuel, and end up managing to
Some weapons.
find a way to teleport like through these special doors through to a nearby area near the red, and they end up flying over the red, dodging like tentacles and tendrils. And
Delilah and Nari held hands during the flight.
it was charming. It was beautiful.
I haven't mentioned all of the times that they were there for each other, but you know, it's worth mentioning because the wedding's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was
have
a nice
Nari, but I'll
thing.
have Nathan. I love
Huh?
Nathan. You can have Nari. I'll have
You
Nathan.
can have Nathan. It's fine.
I love Nathan.
It's not tall enough.
Gay! Oh, for God's sake!
I remember Delilah being like, Nari, don't die. To be fair, if I was ever going to ask anyone not to die, Nari's probably the person who's best got my back for that one.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
the guy is incredible.
Yeah.
We did land.
Yeah, eventually you landed a bit. The group landed a bit short to the from the thing.
Center, yeah.
So I think Yusuf ended up giving some fire to their torches. End up getting through.
He had a fire sword.
Yeah, he had a fire sword, but everyone else got torches, and they ended up trying to push their way through, swinging like fire at all the trees, trying to.
He also got sucked into the ground.
Yeah, I think he was getting to that.
Yeah.
So just before they get to Grifton, or what remains of Grifton, Yusuf ends up getting pulled into the ground, and everyone else gets like attacked by the same tendrils. The rest of them succeed the saving throws and what have you, but Yusuf fails.
But yeah, well.
Yeah.
So Yusuf gets sucked in the ground, but these guys, seeing like the mold trails, I guess, of his body, they go follow him, trying to make sure he's safe. And
minor detail, Yusuf's sword dropped out of his hand, and it was previously stated.
Yeah, that happens.
You can't light up that sword unless you're connected to the god known as the Phoenix. Guess what happens when Delilah grabs the sword?
Oh!
Lights up. Oh, yo, it's like that thing was gonna come up later or something.
Yeah. It almost did, I think.
I mean, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So what ended up happening is they get into this town, and Amol did some really beautiful artwork for this. He had a lot of time to prepare, and he did some great artwork for the village.
Some great memes.
And great memes as well. Can't forget the memes. And what ended up happening is they end up getting into the thing. They end up getting ambushed by more ghouls, fighting some as they make their way towards the only building left standing, and that was the church outside of the right next to the grand tree.
I really wonder if that has any significance.
Yeah. So inside, the church has been completely overrun with the red trees, and there was a throne made out of these things where the only Bjorn the Blood Axe was sitting in it. A lot of emotional convos happened each way.
Yeah. We've come to save you, Heimdall.
I do not want to be saved.
You cannot save me. Who is this Heimdall?
Yeah, it was something like that. I can't
No, Josh.
remember it word for word.
Yeah, Josh there, like, God, I hope I don't roll back.
But
Yeah,
oh
it's
my
different.
god, one of my proudest moments. Literally, I came up with this entire campaign idea just from that one fight alone, and
Yeah.
with thing, and Bjorn got a bunch of cool abilities that he didn't use all of, unfortunately. You
Because he
guys
was
would have
too
died.
powerful. Yeah.
But no, he ends up
Both Nari
ends
and
up getting beaten quite quickly, and his phase 2 was activated when he rushes outside, and he gets healed by the tree while he's fighting, and he's getting healed every time a ghoul gets killed. He gets healed some more. So every time you guys attacked him, he just kept getting healed, and even with that, you beat him quite quickly.
Yeah, well, this is also happening. Like, oh, the sword, Delilah, connection to the Phoenix. She's doing the do. She's cleric now. Yeah. There's a part where like the sword allowed me to use a spell that I don't own, but whatever. Yusuf owned it. Where I summoned Heimdall's old axe to use in combat.
Dang.
Oh, yeah, and you're right. We essentially got outside. I used like Sanctuary, which sorry, we didn't use it how it was supposed to be used. Oops.
We don't use
Yeah, you
anything
don't.
how it's supposed to be used.
I'm trying.
Again, nobody sees this, so
It's fine.
we just did it.
At least Helena Jimmy McGill face.
Yeah, I am. It's just a little bit until I become Saul. Just a lot of bullshit needs to happen in my life. Yeah, so like essentially we spend turns buffing up Nari and he goes on a fucking rampage with his like 8 attacks because of the way Paul rules 2-weapon fighting. I think one time during his attacks he was described as the fucking Tasmanian devil ripping through everyone. As Delilah ran around with the salt and the crystals and managed to set up the exorcism circle.
But not long after Wyatt's will stopped Bjorn in his tracks,
Right,
which is a massive homebrew spell that me and Paul came up with, where it basically summoned lightning strikes from the sky after causing a thunderstorm to.
Yeah,
You end up,
and it's very
you end
cool.
up striking Bjorn, and I think I can't remember if any of them hit your teammates.
I think
Frequently,
it might have either hit me or it hit Nathan. I can't remember.
Yeah,
It definitely
it
hit
made
Bjorn.
sense because I tried to argue the toss that it shouldn't be able to hit him without making a wisdom save. I was desperate.
Yeah. Did this, Hulkman?
yeah, but in the end, the fight was over, and
Yeah.
the exorcism was taking place.
Do you mind if I?
Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Mine, like Wyatt's World, by the way. Like that's the thing that killed Lady Balan. That's the thing that got Josh out of that fucking. So he can see his
Yeah,
ancestors.
Wyatt's will is what saved. Like, I would
Yeah.
have died quite badly, and then got saved by the spell that I can't really control very well, and it
Yeah.
gave me life, basically.
So either way, Wyatt's Will
Bullshit.
manages to hold Bjorn back as Delilah starts to chant Gangster's Paradise in different language. Paul, that was so stupid. I hate you for doing that. Don't give me that fucking look.
You're too
Don't give me that
late,
look.
Comp.
I
I've
was
already
sobbing,
recorded
and you're
your
like,
voice
"Oh,
in
Ellie, you want to know what's
Gangster's
cool? Translate those into Arabic." Ugh.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I went. The chant was "Gangster's Paradise" in Arabic.
Horrid hatred. I can't fucking believe you did that to me. But I chant
It
the
worked.
chant,
It worked.
and you know, Heimdall, like his body is like it throws back, and the demons sort of like forward, and it looks straight at us because everyone's like making sure, oh god, don't make it go wrong, and it's like please, it's like you fool, you can't do this to me, you.
Do you know what makes us sacrificed?
It doesn't matter. If you take me out, then your friend dies too. I say,
Good.
If we have to choose between the millions of innocents that will be saved by this decision or just Heimdord, we're going to choose the innocents every single time. And Heimdord would agree with me.
And then we finished it, and it gets exercised. It screams as it's just fucking. It's gone. and a flash of blinding light as we see Hyamdor's body dunk onto the floor, and we run over to it. The tree, you know, Yusuf manages to get out the tree. The tree's like sacks with people and start popping. They start running out, and I'm holding Hyamdor's corpse in my hands. Because, we don't know that yet. As the trees around us start to turn green again, and
Yeah.
I tried to use my new cleric thing, Spare the Dying. He doesn't get up.
It didn't work.
Then Yusuf comes out, Spare the Dying. Doesn't work. The general comes out and he says, you're going to need something like a high-level wish spell if you want to get him back, and that's when it's set in. Heimdall's gone.
Yeah.
As I start fucking crying for real, begging him to wake up.
I think you weren't the only one though. Like Nathan was upset.
No, Nathan was
I
trying to
was-
wake him up with me.
I know Nathan was upset. I was crying as well. Even though I
think-
knew this was happening, it was still bad.
It was
still
upsetting. I didn't cry, but it was very upsetting. A very upsetting thing to
I
happen.
mean, I've got a little tear in my eye right now thinking about it.
Yeah.
The thing that always gets me choked up is the dream afterwards. But yeah, no, I had him in my arms. I was like, going through the stages of grief.
Mm.
Fucking wake up, Hyamdord, please. I'd give anything for you to wake up, Hyamdord. Hyamdord, look, you've got to wake up. You've got to see the leader that I became. You. And then you kind of force the session to end because it was never going to end. I would have sat there sobbing for hours.
Yeah.
And then the next session, I think
was pretty much the aftermath of that, pretty much.
it was basically it started off with a dream, and
No, we had his funeral first.
Yeah, we had his.
oh yeah, it
funeral.
was a funeral. Yeah,
At
Yeah,
this
where
point
he
in
was
time,
everybody.
again, a time when we could share music through Discord, I put on. I can't. It must have been Endgame music, because it was like
Like
the
the
Iron
whole
Man,
of it.
the Iron Man
The-
death song,
Yeah. So
which was labeled the real hero, which
we all
which we
said our
all
goodbyes.
we all said
Like,
goodbyes.
I couldn't recount a word of what was said to you. I was too busy crying. As we thought, we said,
Yeah.
we said goodbye to Heimdall for the final time, and we got on our way on,
It was.
Never
We,
before has a fictional
emotional.
character caused all of us so much pain.
But Paul, it's different. When you fictional characters, you don't get to talk to them. You don't get to know them for a year. You don't get to share special moments with them.
Yeah. It's like a TV show in a certain respect.
Yeah.
In terms of like connecting to a character, because you see them week in, week out, as opposed to for a couple of hours in front of a massive.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The whole thing, like, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we had the
Um,
dream.
And then the dream was really sweet, where
Oh fucking
showed
hell!
like Amel's spirit, not Amel, Heimdall's spirit in the afterlife, basically saying like, don't feel sad for me. Go out there, go explore, go see the world. And it
Yeah.
was,
And
it was
He was in a cottage with kids, wasn't he?
yeah, something
It
like
was
that. Yeah, living a happy afterlife. Yeah, and then we all went back to the capital to report that the red had been taken care of.
Not quite yet.
Oh,
we
we went back to Hooded Eagles first.
Silver City first, I think. Then the Eagles, because we visited the Eagles with a mechanical horse.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah.
mechanical horse
Yeah.
also had a very unique feature of it malfunctioning.
Yeah. They got rid of it. They gave it to you for free because they had a bug in it where
It basically
the
had
horse had
Tourette's.
Tourette's. So
Yeah.
Just arrive at places
the
and it
horse
would be
would
like,
just walk around. Just like, God, shit.
We also spread the rumor that Brakosh had stolen something. I don't know. Oh, we said that he was the one that broke in the fucking statue. We said, oh, I think it was this elf person, tall and blonde,
Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
missing an arm. Yeah. Yeah, and we made our way to the Hooded Eagles, and the whole quest initially started with us trying to get stuff for them. Before Delilah said "fuck off," and she said,
I can't do this anymore, guys. I found a better way of helping people.
and basically wished them luck on their second attempt at the Baron, which doesn't go great. Actually, in fact, it ends up with most of both Melanie and Jigen dying. Thanks, Paul, you fucking silly bugger. Yeah, but no, we say our goodbyes. We go back to the capital. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, and we
Everyone's chanting our
press-
names,
Yeah,
and I'm right in the crowd. It's the first happy moment I had in
even
fucking
while,
months.
yeah.
Yeah,
And then we.
the king started fucking chatting the shit back. Josh had an actual conversation with him.
Yeah, the one and final natural 20.
Ah,
It ended with a natural 20 on persuasion, which I had a -1 on, but I rolled a nat 20 and I was like,
yeah, and you know how
Yeah.
there's a session between the campaigns. We used Time Dord's cookbook because we got
Yeah.
our shit back, and we cooked up a nice stew at Josh's, and
Yeah. well,
Had a
mostly.
funny meal.
yeah, like wasn't it Nari and Josh who
Yes, it
prepared them?
was. Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
fucking, I think Delilah said like, "Oh my god, Nari, I think I love," and then just started eating. Cut herself off. It was well funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, we decided we're gonna go on holiday.
Yes.
Holiday.
Some of us did.
Holiday. Oh, you don't understand what a holiday is. Yes,
So,
some of us
w-
decided
some
we were
are-
going to go on a
so-
holiday.
And some of
Sorry,
us
you-
mainly
John.
being
I'm
me.
just gonna say, to cut. Should we cut campaign 4 really short?
Yeah, no, I can summarize it in 5 seconds if you really want me to.
Go on then.
Okay,
I'm
so
scared.
Josh, right, final emotional moments. Josh decides he's not coming with us. He's got to stay behind, and he's going to look after Sam, who's afraid of boats, and he's going to settle
Take her
down with
back.
Tilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we say our goodbyes to Josh, which is like that leaves Nari and Delilah as the last members of the original group. Which oh god,
Yeah.
fucking hell, it wasn't nice saying bye to Josh because through thick and thin he had been there.
He was
Even
always
when he was rolling
Right.
bad, he was soaking up damage. It was at least useful. But yeah, we said goodbye to them.
To a
Alora was
really
being
flawed
heartbroken.
character.
Yusuf had to break the news to her, or whatever. Maybe I did. I don't fucking
Don't
remember.
I think it
But
was you.
it was me. Yeah, it didn't really go. She had to grieve a lot when we got there. But we're in the streets. There's a big crowd for some sort of like thing going on, and oh god, I wonder what this thing is. It's like we see like a masked person who kind of gets near us but isn't threatening.
Oh, this is in Athenic. Yeah.
Yeah, we're in
Athnic
Athnic now.
now.
Yeah, sorry, we sail all the way to Athnic and we get off the boat, and Yusuf's like, oh, da, 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 as he does. And just like, yeah, like, so, yeah, the masked man, and then he's like trying to hide from right, this is where I go quick. He's trying to hide from 2 other masked people. They seem to be part of some kind of hand thing that like the Black Hands, but different. They are the Black Hands, my bad.
Death's hand.
Death Hands. It's the same
Rebound.
fucking shit, Paul, you fucking mong. So, they're part
Actually,
of
this
Death
one's Josh's one.
Oh my fucking god.
Listen,
So I'm trying to go quick. Right. He gets near. He's trying to hide from these 2 members of the Death Hand. We just, that they fuck off because they realize they're not going to get to him in this crowd. He kind of fucks off a little bit too, but we recognize, like, we sort of realize that, oh hey, masked dude. We find out that the festival, at the end of the session, the festival is actually because the Prince of fucking Athnic has returned. Yusuf El Davine, the person that we were partying with the whole time. And Delilah is like, what? I'm pissed off at you for not telling us. So, we go into the palace, we meet the king, we meet the queen. They're actually quite reasonable. They don't want Delilah's head. That's a first for kings and queens in her book. He has a brother. His brother's kind of a piece of shit, but we we kind of unmess Yusuf's house and use that as our base of operations. We're trying to be there for a festival. Unfortunately, when we go and smoke some shisha, which Delilah can't do, she ends up coughing smoke clouds up. We run into the banana-loving, mask-wearing, backstabbing of the enemy, psychic knife-having Warwick fucking last name.
Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis from Being Short. And he's like, oh, blah 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 blah. Oh, we recognize you. What are you doing here? Oh, I'm trying to hide from people. Who are you trying to hide from? The Death Hand. Oh, Eustace says, I don't like the Death Hand. We should go here. We go to this place which we had found during our cooking session, I think, from Afnik. It's like a brothel place, but also there's like bounties on there. Oh, it turns out there's like bounties for these people, and then they have a list which is public to the fucking world where the Death Hand are coming after Delilah and Nari and Warwick and Yusuf and the whole royal family and Kaito the Bear Rivera for some reason. I don't know why he's here. On the list, rather. I don't think he did anything wrong. They just, I guess, they don't like him. Yeah, I know there's a bunch of other wrestlers, but I don't know why they're on there. But I guess they don't like our matches. Whatever. Who cares? Who cares? So, oh yeah, also, there's one extra letter. Paul's zooming in right now because he realizes what a horrible, fucking, stupid, disgusting piece of shit choice this was. On the fly, decides to send in a letter that says, oh, by the way, from Melanie, by the way, they caught us, we're on death row, Jigen's dead, I'm dying, we're all dying, goodbye, Delilah. Delilah cries, oh god. Every time I'm near someone, they seem to die. My dad, my mom, Heimdord, you know, the Hooded Eagles, they're all dead. Nari, I'm leaving because whenever I'm around someone that I love, and if it isn't obvious, I love you, Nari, they seem to die. And then Nari says, well, they can't kill me. I'm not going anywhere. And they hug and they kiss.
He rolls
and
too high.
No, exactly. And he promises her that, you know, he's never going to leave her. And then they kiss. And then Delilah's mental health improves again after being depressed again. Anyway, so we go hunt down these members. It goes very swimmingly. We kill a dude. There's a dude that tries to teleport away. We use the command, don't kill him. We go to the church. Zone of Truth, kill him. Yusuf, for some reason, he isn't connected to Phoenix. He's losing his connection to Phoenix. He's got, like, other gods trying to play chess with his soul, essentially, from what I understand. And now he's like, he's got to kill people. Oh, yeah, by the way, we sorted out Thorn and Rose, who were chasing Josh. We killed Thorn. Turns out Rose is Nari's sister. Wrong way. Okay. Killed Rose. Turns out Thorn is Nari's sister. That's crazy. We imprison her in the fucking in the prison in Yusuf place or whatever. So yeah, we saw all of it out except for fucking Shay Pasifta's fucking son, which is a weird one, right? So like we have to like fly in boots at him and all this, and then they have quite the for some reason a really peaceful conversation between Shay's son and Delilah occurs, where it's like, oh, maybe, you know, we're basically the same person, but I'm not evil and you are. And it's like, oh, you call yourself not evil? I'm like, yes, I saved the world. Anyway, Yusuf's trying not to fucking perk out on his dark pack, and he decides, I've got to go discover what this is, and walks away. While we're trying to check up on Thorn. We talk to Thorn. Thorn, this is your brother. Nari, this is your sister. Let's go get Terrence. Hi, Terrence. Here's your daughter. She's alive. By the... Here you go. You guys should go to the Blades place, original Blades place or whatever, and figure out what to do with her. Oh, by the way, Delilah's come with you too because, you know, she wants to get away from all this, and being in the capital isn't going to allow her any sort of reprieve. So what happens is he goes to the Blade capital. Delilah goes to this like place because I don't know, she's relaxing. She's trying to have a holiday, but this is boring. Why am I not fighting people? I'm actually relaxed. Rexenor enters her life because of some bandits. They adventure for ages. I get magical items. You probably won't see Rexenor during the one-shot thing. Anyway, so they meet Kaito the Bear Rivera, and they take out bandits. Sorry, this is before Delilah and Nari leave. Also, they meet new people such as Namia and Grayson and, I don't know, other people. So yeah, they do the suplex, and then the bandits try to take them out in one final last ditch effort after we took down all of their leaders. We kill them, no problem. And then we have a session where it's a wrestling tournament or whatever, it's an event, and then the wrestlers have gone missing, so we have to go down the fucking sewer. And we're doing all this stuff. We go down the sewer and we get to the worst and final session of Paul's entire thing. We have to go and fight the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I skipped over so much there. Like, there's a bunch
Yeah,
of cool
there's,
characters, but
There
we'd
was a
have
lot
to.
of good stuff.
We would have to make comics of our own fan fictions if we were to explore these characters. You don't understand because we didn't get the chance. By the way, the fucking Namiya, by the way, he's like a were person, and like Grayson's in like magical college, and Kaito the Bear Rivera is just an old wrestler, dude. Turns out Rizwan likes wrestling. So finally, we fight the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We put them through tables. We break their spines. We go back to the wrestling event. Whatever. It's over. During the session, by the way, Namiya and Grayson weren't there. They were too busy being unconscious as Paul proceeded to ignore them for straight 2 hours. I can't believe I'm saying this. He was smoking that pack. And honestly, after that session, I don't fucking blame him for taking a 2-year break or whatever year break he
It
took.
wasn't 2 years. It was
How many years?
4 months.
Was it? It was only 4 months. It felt like an eternity, Paul. But
Yeah,
that's an
it did.
testament to how good your campaigns are. We love you,
Until the
Paul.
end.
Even if you did make the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and writ yourself into a corner, to be fair, you
better than
pulled off
some.
everything. Now I'm going to go into a little bit of background stuff because turns out they revived Jigen at some point so he could appear in Dark Fang 3, which is something I haven't mentioned. We could go into the side stories in a separate video, and I'm sure I could do it in about 10 minutes with this speed that I'm speaking right now, baby. So, yeah, that's the end of it. You're all caught up on what happened. I really hope you enjoyed the last,
It's
Josh.
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours, because boy did we over the year that we played. I think I've deserved to rip into this man about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He made me sob for 3 days fucking straight over Hyam-Dord. I was in class, and I remembered Hyam-Dord was dead, and I tried not to fucking cry, and I've just sat there, and then like I'm trying to go to bed, Hyam-Dord's dead, and then fucking he's posting who wants to live forever. Me, I wanted him to live forever. This is stupid. And then I'm dying on the inside. I'm crying on the inside. I'm crying on the outside. And then I calm down because this is the end of the video.
Oh, that is
It's
3 hours, 35 minutes, almost 36 minutes. This is the abridged version, and there is still some holes. There is still some holes left to fill because between now and what we are calling Till Death Do Us Part. At the moment, only these guys know what's going on. I don't know if I'm going to do a video of, say, the Josh White
crying.
attempt stories.
Paul's crying.
He is crying.
You made me laugh so hard. I'm trying to hold it in.
And I don't
So
know if
fun.
anybody else wants to put anything else together. I know Garrick is putting some Brakosh stories, which he did it, and then
Oh, it's so hot in this room.
but
Yeah,
we are probably gonna, well, at least I might do another video on the lead up to Till Death Do Us Part. So yeah, it's going to be a cracking.
You're a cracker.
Now, guys, in the spirit of how I normally do D&D, I just want to say I need a piss, so let's sign off right now.
Okay, yeah, I need to drink his piss, so if you please sign off.
Yeah.
You probably
Thank you all for watching this incredibly long video, and see you later, Josh White Nation.
Bye, D&D's nuts.
Bye, D&D's nutters.